96.5 The Fan.
Right side throw, touchdown! Kansas! Kansas City wins the game!
Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios. Here's CDOT.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Monday. And do we have a lot to get into? The Royals are making trades. The Royals are signing players to extensions. The Chiefs have made a major decision. There are a lot of things to get into in today's show. Again, my name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here with you. Rob is here as well, taking you up until 5:30 when we hand things off to the Royals as they're playing host to the Atlanta Braves coming up later today at Kauffman Stadium. Before we get to that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. I also need you to tell one friend to check out the show. 2 friends will be great. But if you could just tell one person to check out the show, you know what? I would greatly appreciate it. And I also want to tell you guys to stop by the other place with 5 area locations and stop by and get yourself some pizza and something to drink. So today, I actually think the lead is pretty split. Now, we got to give you a random lineup today. It's been a while since we've had a random lineup, but I actually think the lead is split today. Let's start with the Royals because they made a major decision. We have been talking about the Royals trading Seth Lugo, I would say, for about 6 to 8 weeks. I think we all knew that as we got closer to July 31st, the Royals were going to have to make a decision. Well, the Royals have made their decision. Seth Lugo is a part of their future, and they are not trading him. Now, I want to be very, very, very clear on this. I have zero problems with them deciding to keep Seth Lugo. Maybe I would have traded him. Maybe you would have traded him. But keeping a quality pitcher on a good contract, and you always have the ability to move on from that player, is certainly not the worst decision that you can make. But if there are 3 avenues that you have to improve your baseball team for 2026, now some of you might still be focused on 2025. I'm beyond that. I don't think we're watching a playoff team. We have seen 106 Royals games. I don't know what reason I have to believe that they are making the postseason. If you're still holding on to that, great. I'm not telling you that you should let it go. I'm telling you that I did. So I'm thinking for next year's Kansas City Royals. And having a surplus of starting pitching is never a bad starting point. Cole Reagan, Seth Lugo, Noah Cameron, Michael Wacha, Bubic. I mean, you have all of the options at your disposal. So there is not a single part of me that thinks they made the wrong decision in keeping Seth Lugo. But you have 3 avenues to improve your team for 2026. One is the draft. We all know that baseball is not like the NFL. It's not like you can draft Joshua Simmons and he instantly start for you. So the draft, let's go and X that out. The trade deadline. The belief was that you were going to trade Chris Bubic. You were going to trade Seth Lugo at the deadline. You get something back, and then you turn that into something for next season. Well, the Royals have told you that's not how they're looking to improve their team. The Royals have told you that they want to keep Seth Lugo, and again, that's fine. Then you got to spend money in free agency. Simple. The Royals have an offensive problem. I'm not telling you something you don't know. They've had this problem now for almost a year. This offseason, we tried. We really wanted this guy. It just didn't work out. We really wanted this guy, and, I don't know, the deal fell through. You're right. It takes 2 to tango. You can offer something. The other person has to accept it. I get it. The Royals will have one major part figured out for next season. The starting pitching. The bullpen, again, should be good. We all know what their problem is. And if you weren't going to trade one of your starting pitchers to go help in that endeavor, then you got to go spend money in free agency. Now, maybe down the line, they end up trading one of these starting pitchers. Maybe they trade Chris Bubic the same way that they traded Brady Singer. Maybe they trade Noah Cameron and they go get themselves a quality bat. I don't care how they do it. But we will be having very similar conversations next year about the Royals having enough starting pitching, but not nearly enough defense unless something happens to change that conversation. So if the draft is not going to help you in the here and now, that's not really how baseball works. You're not going to use the trade deadline to do it. All right, well, once we get to November, December, and moves start happening, the Royals need to be one of those teams that is potentially willing to overspend to go get what they need to put a quality bat in the middle of their lineup. So as long as we're on the same page, again, I don't have any problem with them keeping Seth Lugo. I don't have any problem with the Royals having a surplus and stockpile of pitching. And you can always trade this Seth Lugo contract if you want to. It's not bad. I believe multiple teams called about Seth Lugo. And the Royals have an abundance of something that you need in baseball, which is starting pitching. So the Royals can solve this problem if they want to. You either spend it by trading one of their starting pitchers, which they just told you at least right now they don't want to, or you change it by spending a little bit of money in free agency. So let's just knock out the Seth Lugo part of this open. I'm fine with it. You should be fine with it. This is a good thing. You will never, ever hear me upset at the Royals spending money. Not as a lifelong Kansas Cityan. You will never hear me upset that the Royals spent money to retain one of their own players. All right, let's move to Josh Simmons. All right, so I think the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs have made a decision. I think the Chiefs are telling you that they know exactly who their left tackle is. This is not a rotation anymore. That's not what we're talking about. We are not talking about the Chiefs still searching to find who their left tackle is. They have the answer. It's Joshua Simmons. We have talked a lot about there being 3 tackles for 2 spots. That's not the case. One of those positions has been filled. It's Joshua Simmons. That position is over. He has taken all of the reps at left tackle. And once the pads came on, that was the real answer. And Jawan Taylor was back. So once Jawan Taylor came back, and we were trying to figure out what the Chiefs were going to do when that happened, we got our answer. So at left tackle, it's Joshua Simmons until proven otherwise to me. I don't think there's any reason to think that Jalen Moore is playing left tackle. He hasn't been practicing over there. Joshua Simmons is taking all of the reps over there. So now we know who their left tackle is. And this is where the Chiefs, you got to take your chances and swings in the draft. If you're telling me that you potentially got a top 10 pick at left tackle, but you got him at 31 or 32, great. Great job by the Chiefs. If that ends up being the long-term solution to a problem. Now we're talking about the other side. And at this point, I don't know who their right tackle is. I mean, I think there are 2 fine options. Jawan Taylor has certainly had his problems, but the Chiefs obviously like him. And they spent a lot of money to go get Jalen Moore and gave him $21 million guaranteed. So I can admit I was wrong on this. I thought that the finances in the business of football was going to outweigh all of these things. I ended up being incorrect. I ended up being wrong. Josh Simmons is going to start for this team at left tackle. I think that is pretty clear now at this point. Now the biggest question in Chiefs training camp is trying to tell you who their starting right tackle is going to be. They're having guys rotate over on that right side between Jalen Moore and beyond Jawan Taylor. And I think that is a true competition of may the best man win. But I do believe that they have made a determination on who the best man is over at left tackle. And I believe, Rob, that they're going with the young guy.
I think the decision is the correct decision because I think the minute the draft shook out the way it did, and the Chiefs had no idea in April or May that Josh Simmons would fall all the way. You know, it's one of those things like the mock drafts have it, but you never know. You never know. The minute they drafted Josh Simmons, this was the best possible outcome, that he's healthy, he's ready to go, and he's your left tackle. Because when healthy, he is a better player than Jalen Moore. When healthy, he is, by all metrics, a franchise left tackle. He is a guy that will play above his contract level because he is going to be better, in theory, than a rookie contract. So I think the Chiefs are popping bottles over in St. Joe that their rookie left tackle is their guy on the first day of camp. I will put this one caveat in the whole Josh Simmons conversation. Last year this time, Kingsley Suamataia was the left tackle. It was a lot of the same conversations. It was, hey, a guy who could have been a first-round pick, fell the second round, the Chiefs got him late, and now look at this. He's their starting left tackle. They found their guy. Simmons is better than Kingsley, but the conversation feels eerily similar. I don't think we'll know for sure until you see more live bullets. But on the outside, on the surface, it looks great for what happened for Kansas City.
We'll talk more about the Chiefs here coming up in just a little bit. I actually think that Josh Simmons is the answer to a question that I never thought a first-round offensive lineman would be able to answer. But you guys know the rules. If we start the show talking Royals baseball, then it can only mean one thing. Rob, hit me.
We're where you want to be. Baseball with the Royals.
Carrington, today's Random Royals lineup takes us back to the year 2004 when you and I were kids and we got told the Royals had no choice but to trade Carlos Beltran. Here is their lineup post-Beltran trade in 04.
This is about to be a journey.
Leading off in center field, David DeJesus.
I mean, that's like the best choice version of having Carlos Beltran. Like, you still have him around. It's not the same. It's not the store, it's the store brand one, but, it tastes the same.
Batting second at second base, Tony Graffanino.
Heavy hitter. How many home runs did he hit that year? I'm going to guess 7.
Oh, there's no way he got to 7 in 04.
You don't think he hit 7 home runs?
In 04, he had 3.
I gave that man an offensive explosion.
Batting third, the first baseman, Mike Sweeney.
I feel bad for Mike Sweeney. I really do. The more that we do this exercise, the worse and worse I feel for Mike Sweeney.
Batting fourth, the designated hitter, Ken Harvey.
That's real protection right there.
Batting fifth at third base, Joe Randa.
Just so many fan favorites.
Batting sixth, this is where it falls off a cliff.
I mean, it's still on the cliff.
Batting sixth.
Their 4-hitter is Ken Harvey.
Batting sixth in right field, Ruben Mateo.
Oh, boy.
Batting seventh, the former Rookie of the Year, the shortstop, Angel Baroa.
I'm happy that you're starting to put the proper respect on Angel Baroa's name, because for a while there, you were being very, very disrespectful for seemingly no reason. It didn't make sense.
Batting eighth, the left fielder and dunk contest competitive player, D. Brown.
He did the dunk contest?
Different D. Brown.
Oh, okay. I was about to be like, well, hold on. He had hops like that. He was leaping.
There was a D. Brown who did the dunk contest.
No,
it wasn't
I
this
remember.
D. Brown.
I was saying he had bunnies like that. I didn't know.
And batting ninth, the catcher, John Buck.
How many wins did this team have?
Not many. By the way, the Royals got thumped this day because Jimmy Gobble gave up 8 in 4 1/3. His ERA jumped to 5.
All I remember about Jimmy Gobble is that he was a sandwich pick. And people thought that was like the funniest joke in the world, that he was a sandwich pick and his last name was Gobble.
This team went 58 and 104. So it's basically the 2023 Royals.
Why'd you have to do that? Was that necessary? Coming up on the other side, I think we are already able to check a box. And Rob, something happened this weekend that you and I haven't had an opportunity to discuss. I'll tell you what it is. Keep right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Entry Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Entry Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent fountain and frozen drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, or dig between your couch cushions, or ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. We take those too. 89-cent frozen and fountain drinks at Casey's, all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Why buy your next vehicle at New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paola? Simple. Honest guys that don't need to add big city overhead into the price. Search New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram to see the complete inventory. Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit AspenLawn.com. The new Omaha Steak Store is now open at the Fountains in Overland Park. Stop in today and save 50% store-wide on legendary steaks, burgers, and more. Plus, get doorbuster deals starting at just $19.99. Discover the Omaha Steaks difference today at the Fountains in Overland Park.
What we've been doing is pulling one of the people that sells a car every month and giving them a prize.
Give Me the VIN is giving away $25,000 in cash every month.
David Ling sold your car last week.
I sold a 2020 RX 350.
Yep.
Yeah.
Open that check up and tell me what it says.
$25,000.
$25,000. Give me that. David Ling of Claremont, California is the latest winner in GimmeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway.
$25,000.
What am I getting for being here? No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GimmeTheVin.com. Sell us your car.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We know there's a lot that can go on during one night of baseball. Long home runs, epic pitching performances, catches that defy space, time, and gravity.
Climbing the wall. Did he catch it? He did!
But what if you could get all of that summarized in a quick, concise, and at least we think, funny podcast that's under 10 minutes? Check out MLB.com's morning lineup. It runs Monday through Friday mornings on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you love listening most.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. There's a conversation I want to have with Rob coming up in just a bit. Before we do that, are we already done with who the training camp darling is? I mean, usually the training camp darling is somebody that just appears out of nowhere. It's a Carson Steele from last year where we learn about, what was it, Crocky J. Usually the training camp hero is a Casey Printers or a Westland Dressler, someone like that. A Luis Reed-Zammit is usually the training camp hero. If you are following social media, it would appear there's only one player at training camp right now, and it's Joshua Simmons. Is Joshua Simmons the training camp darling? Now, I get it. If you didn't have a left tackle all last season, they then draft a left tackle. You have been told for the last 3 months that this guy would have been a top 10 pick if he had been healthy. You maybe in the back of your mind are thinking about this guy as a potential redshirt year. Now you see him out there and he's dominant and he's running with the ones. And now you feel like you have your potential franchise left tackle, something that this organization hasn't had since Eric Fisher. Have we already figured it out? Because you can't tell me it's Brashard Smith right now. You can't tell me it's the fourth string tight end. No, everybody's attention at training camp is around one person. Now, I think that was always going to be the case, but it'd be a lot different if the Chiefs had Jalen Moore playing left tackle, Jawan Taylor had been playing right this time, and you're sort of rotating Josh Simmons in. I mean, what makes this different than what we saw with Creed Humphrey? What makes this different than what we saw with Trey Smith? Those guys had the job, basically had it since day one, and we've never discussed it again. What if the Chiefs have their answer at left tackle, and what if they also have it at right tackle with Jalen Moore, who they have under contract? Like, what if this is their offensive line, and the Chiefs are prepared to roll with this offensive line for, at a minimum, the next 2 years? I mean, if this offensive line is what I think most fans would want, where you got Simmons playing left tackle, Kingsley at guard, you then got Humphrey, Smith, and then you got Moore over there on the other side. I mean, you want to talk about continuity. If you can keep everybody healthy, at a minimum for the next 2 years, you feel like you got your offensive line. But back to the main point here, which is about Joshua Simmons. Rob, have we already answered the question? Is Josh Simmons the training camp darling?
See, I'm torn on this. A part of me thinks the answer is yes, because what has polluted social media, at least in the first handful of days of camp? It's Josh Simmons one-on-one. It's Josh Simmons in pass format set. It's, hey, the Chiefs went deep. You know how they went deep? Look, Josh Simmons was blocking on the outside. Josh Simmons this, Josh Simmons that. So a part of me thinks you are 100% correct. He might be the camp darling. But it feels icky and it feels wrong to say the Chiefs' first-round pick is the camp darling. I don't think it can be Josh Simmons. I think he can be the story of camp, but the camp darling, he can't be the cutesy, plucky story when he was the 30th overall pick. No, it can't be camp darling.
So then let me ask you this question. Are the Chiefs a team now that they are incapable of having a training camp darling? Because, yes, Carson Steele was everybody's media darling last year until they started actually playing games. And then it was like, wait. No, we're not doing this. I'm seeing right now on the text line, what about Tyquan Thornton? I don't know how excited you can be as a Chiefs fan for your sixth receiver, especially one who isn't going to help you on special teams. So, yes, Thornton might make the team, but you already know what the rotation looks like at his position. So there's only so exciting I think you can be about Tyquan Thornton. He's not ahead of Rice when Rice is healthy or off suspension. He's not ahead of Xavier Worthy. He's not ahead of Hollywood Brown. So we're talking about at best, he's not ahead of Jalen Royals. So we're saying is at best, he's your fifth receiver. Can that guy be your training camp darling if this is only an August thing? This isn't even a September thing. This is an August thing. Maybe the Chiefs have got to the point because they're so good that they just can't have training camp darling anymore because we know enough about this team and the roster. Like I'm reading it right now. Someone echoes what you said. A first-round pick can't be a camp darling. It has to be a sixth-round pick or later or an undrafted free agent. Then I just don't think this team has room for those players anymore. I think their roster is too good then. Then I would say then the last training camp darling you really had was in Trey Smith. A guy who, a sixth-round pick you were really excited about. You saw from day one that he could be a potential starter, and it carried on to the season. If you can't help the Chiefs win regular season games, I just don't know if you guys get excited about those guys anymore. So maybe the Chiefs just don't have that. Maybe Maybe that's the moral of this, is the Chiefs are too good to have a training camp darling, that they've evolved past this.
No, I think they can still have a camp darling because last year they were coming off a Super Bowl championship and they were the prohibitive favorite to go back. And everyone was talking about Crocky J. No one was talking about Crocky J or Carson Steele last year, and they were just as good. I still think you can have a camp darling. I think now we have to get deeper into camp for that darling to emerge because there's going to be a Tyquan Thornton. There's going to be was it Jack Cochran, the linebacker from a few years ago? That kind of guy is still going to emerge, and that guy's going to ball out in preseason game 1, and then it's going to be a massive story when they go back to St. Joe.
So you're saying it's too early now?
Too early.
It's too early. Okay, if you're saying it's too early, I can live with that. If you're telling me it's too early to put the training camp darling on anybody, even though I think it's their first-round pick. But I definitely understand the argument. It can't be your first-round pick.
I'm going to say this. Let Jake Bringingstool get healthy and ball out in the first preseason game. Oh, and they go back to St. Joe. He's the guy. Or Robert Tonyan. I know he's a veteran. Supposedly he's looking good at camp. Let Robert Tonyan catch a pass from Gardner Minshew in that first preseason game. And, Tonyan mania is coming to a rise.
All right. Let me ask you this question. Now, I know how this question is going to be perceived because I cheer for Missouri, but I want to let you know that it doesn't come from that place, and it comes from a place of I'm a sports talk host, and this is a topic. Rob, are KU fans prepared? Do you think their university is prepared for Bill Self to step down? Because it has to be a conversation that you are having, whether it's publicly or privately. He has now had health issues in 2 of the last 3 Kansas basketball seasons. He couldn't finish one of the seasons. He just had an incident where now he has 2 stents in his heart. We're talking about heart issues. And you are someone who is essentially a CEO of a high, stressful, major company, is what he is. Is that a conversation that KU fans are having, that this Bill Self thing just doesn't appear to be another decade kind of thing? And whatever you get moving forward from Bill, you obviously should be very, very happy. And he still is able to coach at an incredibly high level. I think we kind of knew this when they brought in Jacques Vaughn, that I don't think they've announced it, but Jacques Vaughn to me just feels like the coach in waiting. Your name is up in the rafters. You've coached in the NBA. If there is anybody that knows what it means to be at the University of Kansas, it would be you. This just seems like a natural transition if something happens to Bill or if Bill eventually has to step down. But I'm just looking at it just logically. Again, this isn't a Missouri fan coming at it. If your coach was unable to finish a season and now just had a pretty serious heart issue before another season started, are you prepared for maybe at the end of the season, Bill just says, I can't do this anymore?
I think both fans and the administration would be naive to not be preparing for that possibility. And I think now, more than ever before at Kansas, both fans and the administration have to know that time could be getting shorter as the head coach. I think he's going to 100% no doubt coach this season. I don't think he is missing the opportunity to coach Darren Peterson unless a doctor tells him he can't. And based on all reports, doctors are saying you're going to be good to go by the season, little R&R. I think how this season goes could really impact the ensuing season because I think Bill Self is a competitive monster. And if they are a 7 seed again, I don't think he has any interest on walking out of Kansas after a mediocre season. But if Darren Peterson's the guy everyone says Darren Peterson is, and they go to a Final Four, could I see him walking away the way Coach K did? I know Coach K wasn't on top, but he went to a Final Four his final season at Duke. Could I see that? Maybe. But I think the outcome will be the determining factor because with his health, if they continue to stink, I don't think he's going to accept that. But if they have a Final Four and then an Elite Eight back-to-back seasons, I think he is more apt to walk out. The same way that I think if Travis Kelce had won the Super Bowl last year, he was more likely to retire than stay. So I think he's in for this season, and the outcome of this season could create a interesting conversation come April.
I agree with you there. There's no reason to think that he is just retiring between now and the end of the season. But you mentioned some of those historic coaches, and their run just ended. Like, One day we woke up and Roy Williams was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. Now, obviously for very different reasons, but Roy Williams woke up one day and just said, I don't want to coach anymore. Coach K, you mentioned, just woke up one day and said, I'm done. I've been here for a while. I've had a great career. I'm done. Jay Wright at Villanova. Like, we can go up and down the list. A lot of those peers that Bill Self has had in competition throughout his time at the University of Kansas, a lot of those guys have just simply walked away from the sport. And if you're 62, you've had multiple heart issues in the last 2 years, one that didn't allow you to finish the season, one that just popped up right before the season. Bill's probably made, guessing $75, $85 million coaching college basketball at Kansas. I mean, you've been one of the 5 highest paid coaches at least for a decade now. You're pulling somewhere between 8 to 10. So I might even be on the low end of how much Bill Self has made at the University of Kansas. We're not even talking about before you take $1 from Salty Iguana or Adidas or whomever. So Bill's made all the money in the world. You're already in the Basketball Hall of Fame. You've already won multiple championships. Like, Bill's stepping down at the end of the season or announcing somewhere in the middle that this is his last year. I don't know how it could come from left field if that's what happens.
I do not think. I don't think fans would find it as coming out of left field. I don't know that Jock Vaughn is the for sure guy. I think if Jock Vaughn stays at Kansas for 2-3 years and Bill Self coaches until 2028 or whatever, then I think maybe then. But I think if Bill Self retires in, let's just say, 9 months, it's April, they win a title, and he walks out. I don't know that after 1 year at Kansas, Jock Vaughn's the no-doubt lock. I think he's one of the leading candidates, but I think he's got to be an assistant coach at Kansas for a little longer than a year before he gets that coach in waiting moniker. Because it would surprise me if they brought him in and then immediately made him coach in waiting. I think there's a little bit more time he has to accrue.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, and I try not to get in Jayhawk business. I would be very, very confused at what would not make him the favorite. I mean, you've been a head coach in multiple positions in the NBA. You were a head coach for the Magic. You were a head coach with the Brooklyn Nets. You played at Kansas. You're one of their more prominent players. Like, I remember back in the day, now granted, this felt like it was a decade ago, we all thought that Danny Manning was the answer to this question. Like, if I'd asked you, hey, Bill's stepping down at the end of the season, who do you want to take over? Mark Turgeon and Danny Manning were the answer. Why wouldn't Jock Vaughn now be the answer? He's 50 years old. You know he's not leaving that job for another college job. He's probably not in line to get NBA jobs, not if you're a college assistant. To me, this just seems like a natural progression that Jock Vaughn takes over at 52, 53 years old, and then he does that job for a decade or so.
I understand what you're saying. I think he's the favorite if Bill Self retired tomorrow. I think he's the favorite. But I don't know he's coach in waiting yet. I think based on everything I've seen with Travis Goff and how he handles coaching searches, which we've now seen for the football program, we've seen, I know it didn't make a lot of news, at least on this show, the baseball program, but he doesn't just hand the job away. He does a national search, and he's done a very good job in his searches. I think Travis Goff would do his due diligence and talk to other people because, and maybe this is my Jayhawks colored glasses, and that's fine. Kansas, if the Kansas job became available, it is one of the most appealing jobs in college sports. Like, period. Basketball, football, it is a top 10 coaching job in college athletics.
Yeah, I'd argue it's the second best job in college basketball behind Duke. But I would also say, though,
Duke hired their own. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, North Carolina was in this situation, they hired their own. Duke was in this situation, they hired their own. Like, you haven't really seen too many of these jobs when they've come open that they went outside the family. They usually keep it in the family.
To be fair, the inside the family has had mixed results. Like, the guy at Villanova, who has since been fired, he was Kyle Neptune. He was Jay Wright's right-hand man. He'd be like if Bill Self hired Curtis Townsend. He got run fast at Villanova.
Immediately.
John Shire has worked at Duke. That's going well. There's been a mixed results on Hubert Davis in North Carolina. One season they made the title as an 8 seed.
Early on, it was good.
It ain't been so good lately. They were back their way into the tournament last year and then immediately removed. Thank you, goodbye. Like, the in-the-family hires, Syracuse hired an in-the-family guy from Jim Boeheim. Syracuse basketball is obsolete. No one talks about the Qs. So I agree that most of these schools have stayed in the family. The in the family has not been batting 1,000 with success.
Let's talk about this Emmanuel Classe news. I will say this, and maybe we are just so bombarded with news that it just doesn't matter anymore. I mean, in the last 3 months, we have had multiple gambling scandals in major sports. We have had multiple NBA gambling scandals. Now, one player was eventually cleared. Terry Rozier got cleared. I believe Malik Stewart, haven't seen anyway. I mean, the video, brother, you look guilty. I don't know. The defense rests. I would show him one clip. That looks like a person that was point shaving. And now we have the Emmanuel Classe, who is the closer for the Cleveland Guardians, who has been placed on non-disciplinary paid leave as part of Major League Baseball sports betting investigation. That comes from friend of the show, Jeff Passan. I'm watching some of the videos and the clips. I mean, it looks kind of obvious to me that if you are telling somebody, hey, this is what we need you to do, it looked to me like Classe went out there and executed that to a T. Now, I don't know if this is what point shaving would be for the general public or what they would consider to be point shaving or match fixing. But if you have the ability to bet on if the next pitch is going to be a ball or a strike, and then you tell the closer, hey, your first pitch needs to be a ball. We're going to put $10,000 down. We're going to put X number of dollars down, but that first pitch that you throw needs to be a ball. And you go out there and you execute it. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm watching the videos, and I'm like, every time he goes out there and he's wild on the first pitch. I mean, it's not close. Like, you're not throwing something close to the strike zone to give it. You look guilty. I'm surprised that these two stories haven't really bubbled up. I wonder why that is. Have we just, hey, this is just part of the game? Are we happy that they are catching these instances? Have they just not happened to big enough players? Is maybe that what it is? Maybe in order for this gambling story to really cut through, you needed to be Bryce Harper. You needed to be Aaron Judge. You need to be one of those kind of players. But, I mean, we've had two players on a team in the last 30 days that have been accused of basically the exact same thing. And it feels like a non-story during a time in which this will be the perfect time and the only time for this to be a story. This isn't a story in October. This isn't a story in September when football is back. But in July, when all football is just practicing, the fact that the closer of the Guardians, a team that made the postseason last year, an all-star level closer, is involved in a sports betting, seems like to me it would be a bigger deal. Maybe we're just over. Maybe we just don't care.
I also think, I mean, maybe we're saying the same thing. I think because we're seeing these things pop up in sports more and more often, like Jameson Williams, I mean, those sorts of things, I think people are kind of just accepting that, hey, guys are breaking the rules, they're getting caught. It's kind of the same way they viewed, a PED suspension or whatever. It's, hey, guy broke the rules, guy gets caught, guy goes on administrative leave. Like, if Shohei Ohtani's gambling scandal didn't shake baseball and we didn't, oh my goodness, another gambling scandal after the best player in the sport had one, if that didn't shake us into thinking we have to talk about this all the time, nothing will. So I think because you're seeing this more and more often in sports, people are more and more like, ho hum, it's no longer, man bites dog, it's becoming dog bites man for people.
Someone on the text line says, who has the time to watch every pitch by every pitcher and compare that to betting sites? This screams that somebody is snitching. Well, it's not how they actually found this out. How they've been able to find these things out is there then is an unusual amount bet on a very specific random thing. That's how they got Jonte. How they got Jonte was one day in NBA betting, Jonte unders was the most popular thing bet on the board. Why would Jonte Porter unders be the most popular NBA bet of the day? Not in a league with LeBron and Steph and Giannis and all of these players. Why is there so much interest in him? So basically what happened with these individual pitches are, there is a normal amount that is bet on these things. And they're able to track it now. Oh, well, we normally get this much from over-under. Oh, we usually get this much for a player hitting a home run or doing this thing. But when they see an unusual spike on something that's pretty random and something that obviously could be influenced by one individual. If you throw a ball or a strike, that's what's kind of alerted them. So, I mean, their system is working. There's no question that their system is working. Their system is also notifying us of, oh my, 2 players on one team. We had 2 NBA players recently. I mean, it seems to me like we are not that far away from this being an NFL issue. It's not a fear monger. We're way too close. Maybe it happens in a preseason game with a lower level player that a 6th round pick is willing to bet on an interception or help somebody. But I just don't know how, if it's come to Major League Baseball, if it's come to the NBA, we just think that it's never coming to football when there's so much money changing hands when it comes to the most popular sport in this country. It just seems unrealistic to me. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk about baseball. Bryce Harper and the commissioner of Major League Baseball, they got into an argument, but I want to give credit to one of Kansas City's own. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here, so drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, host of the Random Royals lineup on 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball with the Royals.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because we know in making the most of your home, DIY doesn't just stand for do it yourself. It also means dream it yourself. And we're here to help protect the dreams you're building. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ring the bell! We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
It's the summer sales event at Robside Ford. Your chance to upgrade without the stress. Robside joins me now. Rob, what's the offer?
0% financing, $0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on nearly the entire Ford lineup.
That's a serious summer deal.
Sure is. And unlike your brisket last weekend, these deals aren't dry.
Okay, that's fair. These savings are definitely juicy.
And we're backing it up with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, a non-commissioned sales team, and top trade-in values.
No pressure, no gimmicks at Robside Ford. The way car buying should be.
We're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 Google reviews, and a better experience from start to finish.
So skip the smoke and the dry meat. This summer, start at Robside Ford.
135th and State Line or robsighc.com. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2 years of complimentary maintenance.
Robside Ford, buy right, drive happy. And next time, maybe stick to potato salad.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter. Or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it off.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh fights odor in just one wash, guaranteed.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 96.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
The sweetest day of the year is almost here at DQ. July 31st is Miracle Treat Day, when $1 or more from every Blizzard treat sold at DQ supports your local member hospital of Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. DQ. Happy tastes good. You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, a couple of things. Thing number one, and then we'll get back to very serious sports things. Thing number one, I had to go to KU Medical earlier today. I'm fine. I just had to go up there. So I went up there, and I see a sign that says parking. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I got to park my car, right? I drive in there. Rob, there was a parking gate and a little parking arm. I was thinking, oh, this is just to know who's coming in and out. I had to stop and press a button to get a ticket. I was like, huh. So I then grabbed the ticket. I then go inside. And then they were like, do you need to get validated? And I was like, for what? She's like, you got to pay to park. And I'm like, wait, what? At the hospital? Then I asked the woman as she was taking my blood pressure. I was like, you got to pay to park here since you work here? She's like, yeah, everybody does. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, wait, hold on. You're telling me that you save people's lives for a living, and yet your job makes you pay to park at the hospital? She's like, yeah, of course. Wait, that doesn't sound like, you don't hear what you're saying? That doesn't sound crazy to anybody else? I can't be the only person that thinks this. This is the system that we have set up, that you got to pay to park at the hospital? I get you got to pay to park at the baseball stadium. I do. I get it. I get you got to pay if you want to go to a Chiefs game. I even understand why they make you pay in front of a meter, like you're downtown. I get it. I understand this. Rob, is this a common thing? I'm not crazy, right? Like, I feel like I'm crazy that the text line's gonna be like, well, of course. And I'm like, wait, how have we normalized that you got to pay to park at the hospital? If there's one place where the parking should be free, shouldn't it be at the hospital? That's wild to me. How are we allowed this system to go on? You knew this? You had this information.
I mean, I'm not defending the system because it's not good, but I was aware of the validating system. The validation gets you to avoid the payment. I don't think they want people just parking in perpetuity. So it's, you park, you either get it validated or you got to pay. That's kind of the system. It's a bad system. It's a hospital.
Even with validation, I still owed money.
Yikes.
I still owed money. My parking was $5. They gave me a validation that only gets you $3. And then I asked, and I was now curious. I was genuinely curious. They were like, well, if you had got a prescription, they would have gave you a second one, and then you could have combined them. And I was like, wait, what? Someone on the text line, complained at it again today. I mean, this sounds like a legitimate thing to complain about. You have to pay to park at the hospital? That's not crazy. Someone on the text line, employees at KU have to pay $600 a year to park. Again, it's at the hospital. I don't even think that's complaining. This seems like a genuine observation that how is this a system that we've set up? This can't be right. Other countries can't be doing this. They can't be doing this. I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe if you're in Toronto and you had to go to the hospital, you had to pay to park. This is wild to me. Doesn't make any sense. That's the number one thing. The next thing is actually not a complaint. This is an observation. You know that we talk about two Americas, and we joke about it most of the time. I think we would also agree that there's kind of like two versions of Kansas City, kind of like there's two versions of America. I would say what barbecue place you like is sometimes based on this two America concept. You know who deserves a lot of credit? Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso has been really taking a genuine Kansas City tour. They had the casting call out in Blue Springs. I think it was kind of everybody knew about this. I mean, I don't know if there was that much of a secret. I feel like that was kind of, if you know, you know. But if you wanted to try out to be in Ted Lasso, you had your opportunity. I imagine that time is now past. They then are going around the city and shooting in various places. It'd be very easy for them to shoot on One America. It would make sense to me if they shot this whole thing, Rob, on 135th. That would not surprise me. But I'm sitting there seeing like, oh, he's at the gates on Main. Oh, he's at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. He's at the Plaza. He's going everywhere. Good job by you, Jason. That's good. That's a good job by you. Great job. 2 thumbs up. I would not have guessed this, Rob. It kind of catches me off guard. I'm a little surprised. He's taking a real tour of Kansas City. He's showing you all versions of Kansas City, not just one version. That should be applauded.
I mean, he is literally checking every box. I agree with you. When the casting call first came out and it was Blue Springs, I thought it was going to be a very suburban view of Kansas City. But Gates, he was at Swope Park the other day. He's done Negro Leagues Museum, which was closed yesterday. And that's just the stuff we know about. There might be more things on the agenda. I don't work in the casting department. I don't work on the location set department. There could be more parts of Kansas City that he is going to highlight. When West Bottoms pops up, maybe a River Market. I don't know. But it's not like Ted Lasso is showing some, hey, this is what people think of Kansas City. This is what we're going to show. He's showing Kansas City, and I respect that very much.
No,
Jason Sudeikis, good job.
You watched the show?
I love that show. Incredible show.
I've never seen it before. Is it a show I should watch?
You would enjoy it. It's like a nice little pick-me-up.
I mean, it's a show about a soccer coach. Is that a show that I'd be really into?
Did you like Scrubs?
No, not really.
Then you won't like, never mind. You won't like the humor in this then. Because the humor is very Scrubs-ish.
I mean, I'm not anti-Scrubs. That's just not really my kind of show.
I
am familiar with it, though.
If you like Scrubs, I think it's the writing group and the either producer or director is the guy who did Scrubs, is also doing Ted Lasso. So if you enjoy that sort of, workplace comedy, but the workplace is a soccer coach now, you will enjoy the show. Like I have my mom and dad love the show. They are not soccer fans by any metric. They text me every once in a while and they say things like, hey, Ted Lasso said this. What does it mean? And I explain relegation to them.
Do you think in like 10 years people will look at Ted Lasso like The Office or like Parks and Rec?
Yes. Now that it's coming back.
Or do you think because it's on Apple TV that maybe that's the barrier that it won't be viewed like those shows?
I don't think that will be a barrier at all. I think it'll be viewed that way. Because I think in 10 years, the idea of it being on a streaming platform is going to be commonplace. Like, maybe your social media is different than mine. People talk about Severance like it's already one of those shows. Now, I don't like Severance, but people talk about it like it's special. It's Apple TV. Shrinking just won a bunch of awards at Golden Globes. It's Apple TV. I think the stigma of streaming only is starting to wash away.
No, I mean, I don't think there's a stigma as much. I mean, I think Ted Lasso would be bigger if it was on Netflix or Hulu, like just a more popular streaming service, or if it was on HBO Max. But the fact that it's on Apple TV just seems like it is limiting because it's just not the most popular streamer that there is. A lot of you are talking about this KU medical thing. Maybe I'm ignorant. I just had absolutely no clue. Yeah, my son, he does a grad program at KU Med, and he has to pay to park. Someone says, I work for the hospital. They don't own the garage the state of Kansas does. I don't know who owns the garage. I don't care. The fact that you had to pay to park at the hospital is just, it's a mind-blowing thing to me, like how we've signed up for this as a society. Like there has to be some things that we got to sit back and be like, hey, this doesn't make sense. Like this doesn't This isn't adding up. Like, this is crazy. That seems like it's very, very high on the list. Like, if you try to explain this to somebody, they'd be like, wait, for what? Like, you had to go, like, pick your grandma up, and then you had to pay when you left? Like, that doesn't sound off to anybody? Because it sounded very off to me when I was there earlier today. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I have a choice, though. I paid my $2 to park earlier today at KU Medical. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, there is a fight a-brewing. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Tiger, dragon, do you have what it takes to win? Be fierce like the tiger, strong like the dragon. Only the brave will survive.
Yeah, that's not how these games work. With Tiger and Dragon from the Kansas Lottery, you can win up to $125,000 or $100K in a second chance drawing.
You are weak.
Ouch. It's not a video game. It's better. Play Tiger and Dragon instant games from the Kansas Lottery.
Let's play.
Yeah, that works. See kslottery.com for details.
Back to school means back with friends. And Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need for the new year for less. Shop the latest styles from brands like Nike, Jordan, Wilson, Carhartt, and Birkenstock. Plus, check out our game-changing selection of backpacks. Save even more on the latest deals each week. Stop by your local store or shop academy.com. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Fun can't lose.
Hi, I'm Mitch Schultz, voice of the Chiefs. Make history this summer by attending Kansas City Chiefs training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri. There's still time to join me. For more details, go to stjomo.com. stjomo.com. In St. Joe, you'll discover 150 years of history, where the Pony Express began and Jesse James ended. Experience history, make history. Go to stjomo.com. Produced in cooperation with the Missouri Division of Tourism.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
Go Yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. Join the millions who have already won billions making plays on Underdog and be next to join one of the leading places to make all your sports selections that you can play in your state. To play, all you have to do is download the app. Choose whether you think a player will go higher or lower than their favorite stats, home runs, strikeouts, total bases, and so much more. Once your entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. That's right. If you bet $1, you could get up to 1,000 times your money, so you really could turn $1 into $1,000 with your baseball knowledge. Download the Underdog app. Sign up using that promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncbgambling.org.
It is out of here. Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the 7th inning stretch of a televised baseball game, we'll be back after this. It's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause, and Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. Why buy your next vehicle at New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paola? Simple. Honest guys that don't need to add big city overhead into the price. Search New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram to see the complete inventory.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Tune in to exclusive Chiefs training camp coverage live from St. Joe on 96.5 The Fan. All access player and coach interviews that you can only hear on 96.5 The Fan. Chiefs training camp coverage is sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Thursday, August 7th on Fesco and Dusty is Travis Kelce Appreciation Day.
Kelce, no side, he makes the catch and rolls into the end zone off the right shoulder.
Right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2. Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, Rob, I have not written this into the rundown, but have you seen Happy Gilmore 2? I have watched Happy Gilmore 2. I watched it over the weekend. I am very prepared to give you my thoughts on the movie, but I don't want to give my thoughts on the movie if you have not seen the movie. Now, I promise you I will not spoil the movie. I don't really know how I could spoil the movie, to be completely honest with you, but I am not interested in spoiling it for you if you have not seen it. Rob, have you seen Happy Gilmore 2? And if you have, we can give our review of it here coming up in just a bit.
I have seen Happy Gilmore 2. I made a point to watch it last night, actually. I was very excited to sit down and watch it, and I don't think any show is better equipped in this city to give a nice review of Happy Gilmore 2 than this one right here.
Okay. All right. I was just curious. We'll talk about it here coming up in a bit. All right. So let's talk about this story. Philadelphia Phillies, Bryce Harper, got into a screaming match today with the commissioner of Major League Baseball. This is the headline on ESPN. Bryce Harper stood nose to nose with Rob Manfred during a meeting between the baseball commissioner and the team and told him to get the blank out of our clubhouse if Rob Manfred wanted to talk about the potential implementation of a salary cap. So Rob Manfred has been going around Major League Baseball to talk about what I think is the number one priority for the owners. It is always obvious heading into a labor negotiation what the owners are prioritizing. In the NFL, it was obvious the last time that the owners wanted another game. They then got another game and they got additional playoff teams. It is obvious what Major League Baseball owners want. They want the Major League Baseball players to agree to some form of a salary cap. If you are baseball players and you have been allowed to operate without a salary cap for basically the entire time, I can see how this would cause an issue. Here's Jeff Passan.
I think on one hand, Rob Manfred didn't stand there and take it. He shot right back at Bryce Harper and said, I will be in this clubhouse and we will have this conversation. And frankly, these are the difficult conversations that need to be happening in order for labor peace to continue. We all remember the 1994 strike. Canceled the World Series. It was a problem, and there is fear throughout Major League Baseball, both on the player side and at the league, that it is going to go down the same path. Now, Rob Manfred has not said he is going to lock out the players upon the expiration of that collective bargaining agreement, but at the same time, there's the expectation that that's going to happen unless things really change drastically between now and then, particularly if MLB owners insist on a salary.
I want to read a little bit more of this and then we'll break it down. Ahead of the expiration of the collective bargaining agreement between the owners and the players, which ends next year, multiple owners has stumped for a salary cap in baseball, the only major men's North American sport that operates without one. As you would guess, the Players Association, they are vehemently opposed to a cap, which they argue serves more as a tool to increase franchise value than to lessen the game's disparity between high and low spending teams. There are two major things that baseball needs to implement. Two major things. They both actually come from the NBA. Number one, there needs to be a way in baseball for you to keep your marquee talent. This is a problem that the NBA had, that if you were the Milwaukee Bucks and then you found Giannis, you were worried that Giannis would leave Milwaukee and then go to New York or go to LA or do what Shaq did and get drafted by Orlando. They build you up, build you up, build you up, and then the Lakers can come in and take all of your hard work. If you look at the NBA now, you can keep your stars for the first 8 years of their career. Now, eventually, that player can leave. We've seen players leave before, but the way they have it set up in the NBA, that the team that drafted you or the team that you were on, they just can offer you more money than anybody else can offer you by the way the contract is structured. So it's in your best interest to make as much money as you can to incentivize to stay with your team. That's how you get Anthony Edwards to stay in Minnesota. That's how you get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to stay in Oklahoma City. That's how you get Tyrese Halliburton to stay in Indianapolis. This system allows the small market teams to retain their players. They don't have a system in baseball that sets it up. They have no system for how it's set up. They don't have an international system that they have to go through the draft. When Shohei decides that he's coming over here, he should have to go through the draft like every other player has to go through the draft. That's how the NBA works. Luka doesn't get to come over here and then decide what team he goes to. No, you enter the draft and then you are eligible to be drafted. That's not how baseball works. So how we determine who plays for what team seems like a really big deal, and creating financial reasons to keep those players in small markets seems like a really, really big plus. Now, I will defend the players here. The players, I think, have the right to then advocate for a floor. If you were talking about a ceiling and putting a cap on how much we can make, okay, the NFL has a cap. Guys are still getting money. They also have a floor. Jacksonville has to spend a certain amount of money. The Raiders have to spend a certain amount of money. What you have in baseball is there's some teams that are winning at all costs, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, etc. You have those teams that are willing to spend big-time money, and then you got some teams like the A's that haven't been trying now for a decade. You got those teams at the bottom, like the Pirates, who have just been pocketing money, and then tomorrow, if they wanted to, they could sell the Pirates for $2 billion, get out of this thing, and run off like bandits. Can't do both. I am for a salary cap. I'm usually pro-employee. You guys know this. Creating a salary cap in baseball would be the best interest for us as fans. Every other sport has it. We have figured out a way to make it work. It does level the playing field. It makes every team viable. There wouldn't be small market clubs anymore. We wouldn't have to argue this the way we've argued it in baseball for our entire life. I get why the players don't want this. We have a system right now that allows Juan Soto to make $700 million. I can see why you guys aren't in favor of it. But if we can level this thing out just a little bit, it would be better for everybody. Right now in baseball, there are some teams that when a free agent hits, they are not viable candidates. When Juan Soto is available in free agency, he cannot go to the Royals. It's not set up for you to go to the Royals. That's not how football's set up. That's not how basketball is set up. You can go play for anybody. Now, they got to convince you to go there, but there's no difference financially from what San Antonio can pay you as a free agent and what New York can pay you as a free agent. Now, you can just decide, I don't want to live in San Antonio. You do get a choice there, but the money's going to be the same. That's not how it is in baseball. We all know that. When Bryce Harper's a free agent, Bryce Harper, why would I even sit down with half of these teams? They can't afford me. Or they don't want to spend the money to go out and afford me. So I get why the players are going to fight back. And they have a lot of very valid cases for fighting this thing back. I do think that a salary cap is important for the growth of the game. I do think that a salary cap is important for the entertainment value of the game. You have over a quarter of the league that doesn't feel like they can financially compete the way the system is set up right now. So you got to give a little bit. And I think giving a little bit at the ceiling to then raise the floor for Major League Baseball, that would be in the best interest of everybody.
I agree, first and foremost. I understand why Manfred and Harper got into this fight, but I think Passan in that cut makes a good point. I think these conversations need to be happening earlier, because what inevitably is going to happen in these labor disputes, and we see it more times in baseball than in our sport, they drag on. They cost us games. I believe it was after 2021, 2022, the season started late because of a labor dispute. Like, Rob Manfred is trying to be proactive. Here's what the owners are looking for, going into Major League Baseball clubhouses and telling the players, here's what they want, just so you guys can get an idea of what's coming down in a little bit when it comes to labor negotiation time. I also think it's good that Bryce Harper, who I don't know if he is or isn't the union player rep, is saying, screw off, we don't want to have that conversation, because that gets the ball rolling. Because I know what's going to happen. It's going to be January 11th. We're going to get a news story that baseball and the players are nowhere close. And that'll leak into February, March, and then April. We're going to be missing games. And they're going to, create some makeshift patchwork resolution where nothing actually gets done. Credit to Rob Manfred for going into the clubhouses and trying to get this conversation started early. And I also understand why Bryce Harper said, get out of my clubhouse. I'm not ready for this conversation right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think where the players are going to ultimately lose in this conversation is, I think fans want a salary cap. I think fans want it. It's going to be really hard to get the public on your side when the argument is going to be, hey, you guys are still going to be insanely wealthy. It's not like Bryce Harper is going to be making peanuts, right? Like, the top players in every sport gets paid. The NBA has a salary cap. The top players get paid. There's a chance Anthony Edwards makes close to $1 billion in his life playing basketball. Guys get paid from playing basketball. It has a salary cap, a very hard salary cap now that they've made it harder and harder to stockpile talent. So I think if you're Bryce Harper or Juan Soto and the guys at the top that are really, really getting paid from playing baseball, it's going to be really hard to get the public on your side with this argument. For whatever reason, fans usually side with management and ownership when it comes to this. If the owners are saying this can help your team be more competitive, I think players are fighting a big uphill battle this time. They're going to fight a real uphill battle. Now, coming out of this, quote, quiet for a majority of the meeting, Bryce Harper sat in a chair holding a bat, but grew increasingly frustrated and said if MLB were to propose a cap and hold firm to it, that players are not scared to lose 162 games. You want to know one reason why baseball players got it set up the way that they do is they have been unafraid to miss things. NFL players don't want to miss anything. They don't want to miss mandatory. They show up for everything. They could get some of this stuff. Baseball has shown you we're not playing in the World Series. We're good. We're fine. So I don't know how we are not headed towards a massive collision here. If the owners are steadfast and we want a salary cap and players are steadfast on that we do not want a salary cap, there really isn't much of a middle ground. You're talking about limiting wages of your employees. I don't really know how we find a middle if you want to implement this and what that means for the sport. It will obviously be very interesting to track this as we get closer to the deadline of when the collective bargaining agreement is up between the players and the owners. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to learn more about the player that the Royals got in a trade yesterday. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
I'm Jordan Robinson, host of the new podcast, The Women's Hoop Show. Each episode, I'll be joined by a rotating group of women's basketball experts to talk WNBA, college hoops, the new Unrivaled League, and the shifting landscape of the sport. The game is growing, and so are we. Listen to and follow the Women's Hoop Show and Odyssey podcast, available now for free on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
This summer,
Casey's has 89-cent fountain and frozen drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, or dig between your couch cushions, or ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. We take those too. 89-cent frozen and fountain drinks at Casey's, all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Numerous brands to choose from, endless options, one incredible experience. At Aristocrat Motors, we treat every driver like royalty and offer the finest luxury vehicle experience in Kansas City. Come see us today and let us roll out the red carpet for you.
This summer, try the new Strato Frappuccino blended beverage at Starbucks. It's the classic blended iced coffee you know and love, now topped with a creamy layer of handcrafted brown sugar cold foam. Available for a limited time. Your Strato Frappuccino is ready at Starbucks.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Oh no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with a Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
On the Missouri side, westbound 70 construction has you down to one lane around 27th Street. On the Kansas side, southbound US 69, both directions between 103rd and 151st Street, lanes and ramps are closed. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Welcome back to The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Monday. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Rob and I, coming up in just a bit, are going to give you our thoughts on Happy Gilmore 2. I watched it this weekend. Rob, you also watched it this weekend. We will give you our review of the movie. Can we talk about this story for just a bit? And I promise you we'll get back to being local. So, Christian Wilkins, he plays for the Raiders. The Raiders recently released him. Now, there usually is a story when a player just gets kind of oddly released that comes out, you know, like the what had happened story. I think we all knew that that was coming for Christian Wilkins. They just walked away and voided his $35.2 million guarantee, just voided it. Just, you're done. No, you're not getting it. He filed a grievance with the NFL Players Association to try to solve this. You guys owe me the money. Oh, and then we got a story. Christian Wilkins, who was recently released by the Las Vegas Raiders on Thursday, kissed a fellow player on the head, and a teammate took offense to it, a source told ESPN. Last week's incident happened inside a team meeting room. One source told ESPN that the interaction was, quote, playful, but the teammate didn't see it that way. It is not known what the fellow player did following the incident. Wait. Adam Schefter, you're telling me that you know this incident happened. You then are telling me that you know multiple people saw it, but you don't know what the player did? Okay. It then comes out that a complaint was filed to the Raiders Human Resources Department, which investigated the incident, a source told Adam Schefter. Time out. I got to go back. Rob, we think an NFL player went to HR on another NFL player? That's what we think happened? This should be the number one story. We think this was a staffer that saw an issue between two NFL players and felt strong enough to then go to HR to report said issue. Because this said the complaint was filed. Now, I don't know if NFL teams want to get into the business of, hey, what happens in the locker room? I'm going to HR to talk about this, because that would be a wild file. Wild. What they listen to, what they talk about, what they do. It's HR palooza in the locker room, but that's perfectly fine. That's their space. Rob, you and I have conversations that are probably HR violations, but we're in our office. We're in our space. That's cool. We think a player dimed out another NFL player or a staffer did this, or what I think is they want a reason to get him off the team. For whatever reason. They wanted a reason to get him off of the team. And they wanted to get that money back. It's $35 million. So now we got to start leaving a paper trail. Oh, hey, remember that playful thing that you did last week? Hey, we didn't like that. We went to HR to report this. This is real nasty work. This is genuinely, if you had told me that something like this was going on, the Raiders would have been near the top of the list. Now, I didn't see the kiss. I don't know what happened. I'm guessing that they're guys joking around. I'm just going to go out and guess. One source told ESPN that the interaction was playful, but the teammate didn't see it that way. I mean, can't we kind of see what happens? Christian Wilkins joking around. He goes up there. The one dude like, yo, I don't play like that. And that was kind of a little back and forth. We got HR involved. What is this, Coldplay? So we'll see what happens, but they came for that man's $35.2 million of guaranteed money. They just outright voided it. Oh, trust me, they're going to find a reason to void that money, and they're going to keep it voided too. You're not getting a penny of that money. You lost. They, didn't like the way that you rehabbed. You, were getting HR violations put on you. I can't believe we out here snitching in the NFL. That's crazy work.
I think more likely than not, or let me rephrase that. My guess on this is simple. I don't think the Raiders liked the fact they gave Christian Wilkins all that money, and I think they were having a little bit of buyer's remorse. And that was known throughout the building. I'm sure this happened, and word gets back to the coaching staff or the front office, hey, did you hear Christian and so-and-so got in a little scuffle in the locker room? No, I didn't. What happened? Christian kissed that guy on the forehead. He didn't take too kindly to it. It was a little bit of a dispute. It was it's something that happened. The same way things that happen in the locker room at the high school or college level eventually get back to the coach. I'm sure once Pete Carroll and co. found out this little kerfuffle, they realized, oh, we now have reason to fire him. We now can say he's a locker room distraction. We can now say that there are people who work with him that don't enjoy spending time with him, and we now have a reason to cut him. I don't believe that this kiss in the forehead led to a player going up the elevator at HR and saying, Christian did something, I want to talk about it. I'm guessing it was just word of mouth, and the team that wanted to fire Christian from the start now has a reason to fire Christian.
Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, you guys' HR department is listening to this segment going crazy right now. I mean, I don't think that our workplace is many different than other people's workplace. I think Rob and I have conversations that are technically HR violations. If the conversation between he and I, no one else is around, and then I found out that Rob went to go talk to HR about our conversation, my issue wouldn't be with HR. My issue would then be with Rob. I can't be around you. You're a snitch. You're a snitch. We're sitting here talking about Sydney Sweeney. You're going to run down then to tell them what I said? You're a snitch. I don't want to be around you. That's what I'm saying is, if you're telling me in this story, a complaint was filed to the Raiders Human Resources Department, who do we think dropped the dime here? Because I'm guessing it wasn't a staffer. You see the wide receiver coach went upstairs and reported a player for an HR violation or something happened in the locker room.
I'm betting you good money.
I'm telling you, I don't want that person around me. I don't want that person on my team.
$1 million as the staffer. And it might not be the wide receiver coach staffer, but Carrington, you've covered Chiefs games. You've covered Royals games. There are staffers walking around the locker room and the clubhouse. It's not like, hey, you're standing there and every person is a coach or a player in the discussion. There's equipment people. There's, interns. There's communication people. There are dozens of people in locker room and clubhouses that are not players or coaches. It would not shock me if one of those staffers says, hey, coach, hey, GM, Christian and so got into a little beef because this happened, and they were like, okay, now we have to report that. There are people in the locker room that are just regular NFL employees.
I don't want that person on my team. It's a code violation. There's a code here. There's an ethics here. And if that's a HR, why are we in here listening to Migos then? That seems like a code violation to me. I just don't know if we're in that business of we want to go be reporting to HR what happened in the locker room, because some wild things are going on in the NFL locker rooms, and we all know that. Wild things are going on. I just don't know if you want to be going upstairs to talk to the HR lady. That's the only point that I want to make about that. All right, coming up in just a bit, we are going to learn more about the Royals, who just made a trade. But let's hear what Vern had to say. The Royals are making moves. They're making trades. They're signing players. It's a busy, busy time for the Royals. Here is Josh Vern. You're talking about how Seth Lugo may have left some money on the table to stay in Kansas City.
My first reaction was cool, great. Yeah, certainly nothing to complain about.
Right.
So the only reason why I wanted or thought that the Royals needed to trade Seth Lugo was because I thought Seth Lugo would take it to free agency. I thought he would get that third year, right? It's a 2-year deal, $46 million. It could end up going up to $60 million. In my opinion, if Lugo takes this to free agency, that $60 million is guaranteed. So maybe he left, in my opinion, he left $14 million on the table because he likes Kansas City. It's some guaranteed money in front of you right now rather than hoping that you can stay healthy for the next 2 months.
I don't know if this part of the story is going to get nearly enough coverage, but it is something that we should talk about. This used to never happen for the Royals. Never. I've been following the Royals for a long time. You've been following the Royals for a long time. Tell me the time that a player had a chance to leave in free agency in 2 months. Seth Lugo could have went to go play for any team that he wanted to. Seth Lugo then made the decision to give up that opportunity, take less money, and stay in Kansas City. That's a testament to the Royals organization. That's a testament to J.J. Piccolo and his team. He could have got more years, more money to go play for somebody else, a better team, a better organization, a bigger city, whatever. This kind of stuff used to never happen for the Royals. So J.J. Piccolo deserves a lot of credit for this. His staff deserves a lot of credit. The Royals, who for a majority of my life were never able to figure out starting pitching, now have a surplus of starting pitching, and guys are willing to take less money to stay in Kansas City and be a part of their rotation. Seth Lugo is a hero. He should turn on the Plaza lights. After me, of course, but he should turn on the Plaza lights. Here is Vern. He doesn't think that the Royals are going to be buyers now at the deadline.
I don't want them to be quote-unquote buyers. You know, I don't look at the same. You know, had they trade Seth Lugo, I wouldn't view that as them being sellers. Again, you only had them for 2 months.
Right.
Sellers to me means you're sacrificing something in 2026 or 2027. If you trade Seth Lugo, that wasn't sacrificing something, in my opinion, for next season. Bringing in Randall Grichuk and Adam Frazier, that's not necessarily buying, because you're not parting with something that you prize for 2026 and 2027. So I think this is the lane that the Royals stay in. Now, I know there are people out there that want them to be buyers, right? Go package a Blake Mitchell and a Ramon Ramirez, take one of those A-ball pitchers, and go get that bat to help this team track down the final wild card spot in the American League. I love that optimism, and, you know, the fan inside of me would be pretty fired up if they did make a move like that. But, you know, if they bend my ear and want my opinion, no. This team has shown me really nothing to hang my hat on to say the best baseball's yet to come.
That was our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. Let's head to the phone lines right now to learn more about Randall Grichuk from Dave Burns. He covers Arizona sports for 98.7. Dave, happy to have you join us today.
My pleasure, man. How are we doing today?
Doing great, man. I'm just going to assume that a lot of people listening don't know a whole lot about Randall Grichuk. You know a lot about Randall Grichuk. What can you tell us?
He is one of the quiet kind of leaders, was one of the quiet kind of leaders in that Diamondbacks clubhouse for the last year and a half. He was, I mean, maybe not on the surface, but I think just a little bit below the surface, one of the most essential players for the Diamondbacks a year ago, when ultimately they kind of failed, but they won 89 games and made a push for the postseason. He was the platoon partner along with Jock Peterson at the designated hitter position last year, put up very good numbers against left-handed pitching. He was an occasional outfielder. The defense is fine. It's not elite, but it's certainly good enough to be what you need it to be. He and Jock Peterson combined, I think if we're going by OPS, I believe they had the third best designated hitter OPS of any team in Major League Baseball last year between the two of those guys. His at-bats weren't as many as Jock Peterson did with the pitching splits and everything, but a good right-handed bat against left-handed pitching, a real likable guy inside the locker room, kind of quiet, but also the guys, I mean, there was a video circulating of him saying his goodbyes when he got traded in the middle of that game. Everybody loves him. Everybody likes him. Everybody respects him. You guys are getting a good one there in Randall Grichuk for sure.
I'm looking at his games played over the course of his career. This doesn't look like a guy this doesn't look like a guy that fans should be expecting to be an everyday right fielder for the Royals. He seems like a fourth outfielder, a sort of rotational guy that you can put in certain spots.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what you should expect. I think if Randall Grichuk is playing every single day, he something went wrong, or somebody got hurt, or something along those lines. He was never an everyday player here. There would quite frankly be long stretches where you didn't see Randall Grichuk because it was a series of right-handed starters that they were facing, and he'd get a pinch hit here or an at-bat there. He was a guy that got off to a really slow start this season, and I would guess over the last month and a half was starting to kind of emerge and be that guy again. I think at the beginning of the season, honestly, it felt like he was hardly in the lineup because they just weren't facing a ton of left-handed pitching. And as that changed, then everything just kind of evened out. He got more bats. But no, you're talking about a fourth outfielder here, not like a true difference maker like you would talk about at the deadline.
Looking at Randall Grichuk's numbers, last year he hit 291. This year he's hitting 290. The on-base percentage was 348 last year. It's 276 this year. Why do you think we've seen such a dip in his production?
That's a great question. I think that the sporadic nature of the playing time, even though it was sporadic last year, certainly has something to do with it. But it just kind of recreating that magic that he had a year ago, he struggled to do it. It seemed like especially the clutch hit, which he was really good at a year ago, was really eluding him this year. Again, until recently, over the last month or so, I'd say those numbers turned around. But it felt like he was going through such stretches of not playing very much and not getting very many at-bats that it looked like he was a different guy out there. I think mostly because of underuse or just the need not presenting itself in the game the way it typically would have.
I'm looking at his contract. It's a mutual option for next year at $5 million. Certainly believe the Royals would want to pick that up. I mean, if Grichuk, I think, gets an opportunity to play, which he might here in Kansas City, the Royals certainly need some outfield help. It seems like this is a really good contract. For everything that you're describing, I'm a little surprised that Arizona couldn't find a spot for him and Arizona is willing to part from him, because we're talking about really no money this year.
Yeah, it's a $5 million option for next year, and I think it's like a $3 million buyout, which the Diamondbacks aren't on the hook for anymore. I think between this, the remainder of his salary, and then the Josh Naylor trade, the Diamondbacks have cleared about $8 million in salary just now before they go into these other deals. Look, it's been a really disappointing season here in Arizona. They hung in as long as they could, but that push that they needed to make to get themselves in true contention in the wild card race, it never materialized. And Grichuk he's not one of the main guys the Diamondbacks might be looking to trade. He was kind of in that next tier, but given that there was a question mark about whether they were going to bring him back next year, whether they were going to pick up that option, I think they viewed him as, in essence, an expiring contract that they could get something for. They've had bullpen problems galore. They got one of your bullpen arms potentially in the deal, and I think that is probably what drove this more than anything. They're looking for a controllable pitching piece that they can count on for a few years to come for a player that they may or may not have re-signed this next season anyway.
I'll get you out of here with this last question. I got to ask you one Arizona Cardinals question. What is it like to cover a team that for the 7th consecutive year is going to be everybody's sleeper in the NFC?
We're wondering which year it's actually going to happen and it's actually going to come true. I actually am very bullish on it being this year. I tell you what, these last 2 years under Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenfort, I know this sounds crazy to say this, but they really took over when the cupboards were bare. Man, there was just nothing here. The previous regime had just drained all the talent and was terrible at scouting talent and figuring things out. So they really had to start from scratch. This is the year where it's all on Kyler Murray, man. It's all on Kyler to show that, are you that guy or are you not that guy? Because if they have another season where it's 7 wins, 8 wins, and they fall apart at the end of the season like they have a lot the last 7 years that you're talking about, then I think instead of looking at Jonathan Gannon or looking at Monty Ossenfort or the talent on the roster, they're going to be looking at Kyler Murray and saying, is this just who he is, and can he take you where he wants to go? It's very much a referendum on Kyler and his ability to be a franchise quarterback this year, if it's going to happen.
Well, I mean, if you guys want a chance to do something, I would try to keep the PlayStation away from Kyler Murray, and you might got a shot to win like 10 or 11 games this year.
I tell you what, he's been so much better about that. He really has changed a lot the last couple of years. It's been night and day for him. But the play on the field, especially when the calendar turns to November and December, it's just not the same. He got off to a great start last year, and then we got into November, and kind of the old Kyler Murray started showing up. He's got to fix that this year, otherwise he might not be on the Cardinals next year.
That is Dave Burns joining us on the show. He's with Arizona Sports 98.7. The Royals, they have made a trade for Randall Grichuk. He is going to be a 4th outfielder. Could possibly start in right field, certainly now with the injury to Jack Caglione for the Royals. Dave, great stuff. Anytime we need an Arizona voice, you're always the first one we call.
You got it, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks. That is Dave Burns joining us on the show today. Just wanted you guys to get a little bit of knowledge about who the Royals just picked up. I mean, this is a nothing contract for next year. It's a mutual option for $5 million. It's a mutual option. Obviously, the Royals just traded for him. They wanted him in the offseason. They will pick up their side. No reason to think that Grichuk won't, I guess, do his part. I don't think you want to hit free agency again. and we know that he's going to be on the team for next year. I think that's it for the Royals. I don't think they're buying any more pieces. I think they're keeping it at that. Coming up at the top of the hour, Harold Kuntz is going to join us on the show. He is with Fox 4. He has been at every day of Chiefs training camp. Coming up on the other side, Rob and I will give you our review of Happy Gilmore 2. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help this patient.
Hi, my name is John, and I've been on ED and testosterone treatment at Heartland Men's Health for the past 15 months. I could tell, I was starting to go downhill, and my wife kept telling me, well, you need to go to a clinic that'll specialize in that. And that's what eventually led me into the men's clinic here. Treatment, in my opinion, is a miracle. I was able to perform to an elevated position that, quite honestly, I never thought I'd see again. For my fellow men out there, if you're feeling that you're not up to par, I encourage you, contact Heartland Men's Health, and you will see a dramatic difference.
Thank you. It's true. Your initial appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
It's the summer sales event at Robside Ford. Your chance to upgrade without the stress. Robside joins me now. Rob, what's the offer?
0% financing, $0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on nearly the entire Ford lineup.
That's a serious summer deal.
Sure is. And unlike your brisket last weekend, these deals aren't dry.
Okay, that's fair. These savings are definitely juicy.
And we're backing it up with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, a non-commissioned sales team, and top trade-in values.
No pressure, no gimmicks at Robside Ford. The way car buying should be.
We're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer, 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 Google reviews, and a better experience from start to finish.
So skip the smoke and the dry meat. This summer, start at Robside Ford.
135th and State Line or robsighc.com. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2 years of complimentary maintenance.
Robside Ford, buy right, drive happy. And next time, maybe stick to potato salad.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter. Or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
It's funny how one little light can stall out your entire day. I was already running behind, and now this, the check engine light. So I reached out to my go-to problem solver. Dad, check engine light. What do? He didn't miss a beat. Take it to Telly, he said. So I did. When I got there, they didn't just fix my car. They fixed my day. They were quick, clear, and took care of everything. Next time my car glitches out, I'm headed for Telly. Don't let that little light be game over. Take it to Telly.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy the rinse straight. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
On the Missouri side, Jackson Avenue is closed both directions between East 29th and Myrtle Avenue. There's a lot of road work in that area, and I-70 is a parking lot through that area between Highway 40 over to East 23rd. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
I always feel like this disclaimer is important because sometimes you guys get really mad. This is my opinion. If you feel different, great. You're allowed to like different things than I like. Sure, we have fun from time to time, but if you like baked beans, it don't cost me no nothing. You know what? All the baked beans that I don't want, I hope that they go to you in your life. I want to give you my review of Happy Gilmore 2. Now, I think it goes without saying, we all love the first Happy Gilmore. It's a classic. It's an undeniable classic. So we're all coming into it from the mindset of, we love the original. We've seen the original dozens of times and can quote it. And we all love Adam Sandler movies, right? Like, if you don't love Adam Sandler movies, I'd look at you like you're kind of weird. Like, really? You don't like The Waterboy? You don't like The Wedding Singer? Like, you don't like any of these movies? Like, that's weird to me. You know how you guys use Alex Smith as the baseline quarterback? Like 17 quarterbacks are Alex Smith. Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, all these guys are Alex Smith. That movie for me, my Adam Sandler bar is Grown Ups. I don't think Grown Ups is a classic, but I think Grown Ups is funny. I think Grown Ups is a movie that if you are flipping through the channels and you see that Grown Ups is on and you want a good laugh, you'll stop and watch it and it will make you laugh. It will make you smile. You will be happy. So going into this movie, I'm putting it up against Grown Ups, a funny movie by Adam Sandler that I enjoy. I'm not expecting it to be a classic. It failed to reach that bar. I don't think this is a good movie. I don't know if it's necessarily bad. Like, this isn't the worst movie I've ever seen. It's not even close to one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I'm happy that I watched it, but the appeal of this movie to me was far more in the 74 cameos than the comedy of the movie and the story and plot of the movie. Rob and I talk about this on our podcast. Usually in these kind of movies, there's a good plot in there if you really want to find it. There was a really good storyline about the daughter that was very nostalgic to the original plot line in the original movie. I need to make this money for my grandmother. That's a story you can relate to. Well, we tried to bring that storyline back, this time for the daughter. Hey, I've fallen on hard times. My daughter is this great dancer. I want her to be able to go to the school that she wants to go to. This is how much it costs. And then somewhere in the middle of the movie, they then determined that's not what the movie was about anymore. Just in the middle of the movie, just, wait, we're going to change. Now it's a new plot. It's the movie like, okay, like, I thought we were doing this to make money for your daughter, but we don't even see her anymore. We didn't really develop her story. She's just around. Then it started to be about live golf, basically, which, okay, that could have been the beginning, but all right, that's a small criticism. The last 30 minutes of that movie were absolutely mindless and turned into a cartoon. Like, it turned into a legitimate, genuine cartoon of itself. When I was thinking you didn't have to play it this way. Like, it didn't need to be so over the top, unrealistic CGI. Like, it didn't need to be this. Just be funny, tell some good jokes, and kind of make us laugh. I didn't like the ending of the movie. I would give this movie 2 out of 5 popcorn bags. If we were doing a IMDb rating of it, I'd give it a 5.0, 5.1. I felt like it was somewhere in that range. It's not bad. I don't regret seeing it. If you love the first one, I definitely would encourage you to give this one a try. It's not a long watch by any means. It's a good, hey, you're looking through Netflix, you're trying to scroll, you're trying to find something to watch, so let's just turn on Happy Gilmore 2. You and I both like the first one. It will check those boxes. I never need to go back to this movie. I never need to see it again. And if I'm using Grown Ups as my funny Adam Sandler movie that I enjoy, but I wouldn't consider it to be a classic, I think this movie is way down the list from where I think Grown Ups is. I think this was for the most part, this was a bad Adam Sandler movie.
See, I think bad is too harsh a review. I largely agree with you. I think it's just fine. If you like the first one, you will enjoy this one because of the nostalgia of it. All the best jokes, all the best moments are wrapped up in, oh, I remember this plot line from the first one, and then you kind of chuckle and enjoy it. Anything new they tried, I think largely missed. So I think people our age are going to enjoy it because of the nostalgia of it. I gave it a B, maybe a B minus. It's not bad, but you can do better. It is very much in the grown-ups lane to me, where there's some parts that make me laugh, and there's some parts where I go, not so much. And I actually think the star, it's not the star listed, but the person who I watched with it being like, oh, that person carried the movie, was Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny was the highlight to me.
I don't know if Adam Sandler is one of the 10 funniest people in this movie. Like, if I had to really sit down and I had to make a list, he wasn't even the funniest golfer in the movie. Roy McIlroy was really funny. Scotty Scheffler was really funny. To do the callback to when he got arrested was really funny. I don't want to make it seem like there were no laughs in this movie. There definitely were times that I laughed and I thought things were funny in the movie. It just wasn't consistent enough. I don't think the movie had any plot. It didn't have any structure. The ending was bad. I really felt like the plot line for the story was basically, hey, here's another famous person. Or can you recognize, it became, where's Waldo? Oh, that's Kid Cudi. Oh, that's Kelsey Plum. Oh, that's that person, which if that's your vehicle to tell the story of the movie, you missed, in my opinion. Grown Ups has a heart in the end of it. And it's funny, you got these 4 comedians back and they're telling jokes and they're going back and forth. But at the core of Grown Ups, we go back to our camp and we want to share this with our kids. What is this movie about? What kind of story are they trying to tell? Is it about Live Golf? Is it about his daughter? I thought the movie was a mess.
I mean, this is kind of not the point, but I literally just now am realizing that was Kelsey Plum. It didn't hit me until just now. That was Kelsey. But you're right. I watched with my wife last night, and throughout the movie, we were basically the Leonardo DiCaprio gif.
Yeah, ooh, that's so-and-so, yeah.
That's so-and-so. And then there'd be times we'd pause and be like, okay, I recognize this person. This person is clearly famous. How, like Margaret Qualley. Okay, she's just in this now. There she is. Eric Andre. There were times where I found myself almost distracted by the level of cameo. And we have to talk about it because Kansas City. I did not think Travis Kelce was that funny in this movie at all.
I thought Kelsey was funny. I actually think that the Kelsey bit went on for too long. When
100%.
when Kelsey's on the screen that first time, I actually thought it was funny. We didn't really need the callback to Travis Kelce. I thought Kelsey got in, told his couple of jokes, they had their back and forth, and then he was out of there. I actually liked the first scene that was Kelsey was in. I didn't really like the second scene that much.
No, I did not like the happy place scene with Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like that scene that much either.
I also think they tried to make him kind of a quasi-villain for a minute, and I didn't think that really worked that well either. But I think he was just fine. But it was at times it was distracting with the amount of famous people that were in it. That's my biggest hang-up. Eminem is in this movie for really no rhyme or reason other than just to be in the movie.
I mean, I actually think that was one of the better cameos in the movie. That guy was. No, I did. I actually thought this. Someone said you went into this movie expecting too much. This movie was purely to say there was a Happy Gilmore 2. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I guess I just expected to be entertained. I wasn't really that entertained.
Did you have this better than Grown Ups 2? Because Grown Ups 2 is a waste of everyone's time and energy.
I don't really remember Grown Ups 2 that well, so I mean, probably
I was
better
thinking
than
of
Grown Ups 2.
I was trying to think of a movie that Adam Sandler did that we all just disliked, like we all just ignored.
Someone said, "I'm old. Who is Kelsey Plum?" She plays in WNBA. If you've seen the movie, when they go to that municipal golf course, she is the female clerk there. She is that's the long dark-haired woman. That's Kelsey Plum.
You also might know that she dated Darren Waller.
Yes.
They're married for
When
a while.
Darren Waller was making that sad "I Wanted My Girl Back" music,
That's
he
about
was
Kelsey
making
Plum,
that music about Kelsey Plum. She's actually one of the best women basketball players in the world. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we are going to be joined by Harold Kuntz. He has been to every day of Chiefs training camp. We're going to get his thoughts on what I think is the top story. I believe the Chiefs have made a decision. We know who their left tackle is. We are now trying to figure out who their right tackle is. We'll get Harold's opinion on this next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Catch Hall of Famer Denny Matthews every Monday at 3.
And gone, Bobby Witt.
On your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
I-70 both directions between downtown and through the east side is the problem child right now. It's a parking lot. All other major lane closures have been cleared with I-470 fully reopened and work on US 24 winding down. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for client betrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Tune in to exclusive Chiefs training camp coverage live from St. Joe on 96.5 The Fan. All access player and coach interviews that you can only hear on 96.5 The Fan. Chiefs training camp coverage is sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hi, I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Be a part of history by attending Chiefs training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri this summer. See the Chiefs and make a St. Joe memory. Whether it's touring one of the many museums, staying in a historic home turned bed and breakfast, experiencing quality dining or brewery options, hitting the River Bluff bike trails, or supporting a vibrant art scene, St. Joseph has something for everyone. Go to stjomo.com to view or download a free visitor guide and plan your trip. Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
Hey there, Kansas Lottery here. And we want to get together for a game or two. Meet us at your favorite retailer or wherever you like to buy your tickets, and we can let the games begin. There's a lot of fun and cash on the line. See kslottery.com for details.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Do you know a coach who goes above and beyond? The Royals, the CU and the Major Leagues Foundation, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City are recognizing those impactful men and women. Nominate your high school coach at royals.com/coaches with character.
Why buy your next vehicle at New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paola? Simple. Honest guys that don't need to add big city overhead into the price. Search New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram to see the complete inventory.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well,
trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
GimmeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway. I hate games and scams. So when we had the idea to give away $25,000, I was very careful about the way it was orchestrated. Get the top of the market money and enter to be the lucky person to get $25,000. This is no joke. This is no game. This is very real. Just like GimmeTheVin.com.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GimmeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Brought to you by America's largest pickleball festival, PickleCon. PickleCon will feature 100 courts, 3,000 players, 80-plus vendors, with something for everyone. Youth tournaments, charity games, and parties that glow. PickleCon, August 7th to 10th. Register at picklecon.com.
Have you watched Die Royal Decree? How about Chiefs Take Tuesday? Or would you rather Wednesday? Follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for exclusive video content, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes action. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back into the show. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by friend of the show, Harold Kuntz at Fox 4. Harold, you got on us last time for having you come on during the All-Star break. This time, we got you on to talk real NFL news. I hope you're excited.
Man, I am pumped. I'm honored, man. Let's go.
So this is my big takeaway so far from what we've seen at camp. This entire time, I've kind of talked about it like it was 3 guys for 2 spots, that the Chiefs have 3 tackles and only 2 of them can play. I think we have our answer at left tackle. I think that Josh Simmons is their starting left tackle. They put on the pads. He took every rep. He has been there basically since they have started this entire process. That right now the question is at right tackle. You've been there. Do you see it that way? Do you think the Chiefs have named their starting left tackle?
This is the deal, Carrington. Right now, Josh Simmons is going to be the left tackle, whether that you like it or not. That's what they're determined to do. They're easing him into it. They're making sure he's getting all the checks right, all the calls right. That's basically what they're making you think, that they believe it's going to be Josh Simmons. Now, of course, we have the benefit of last season when they said we were saying the exact same thing about Kingsley. But now that he's moved over to guard, they still got to work on their communication too. So they're just rolling it on left. They basically have said, like, we're rolling with it at left. It's going to be these 2 guys. You can think of Kingsley essentially as kind of a rookie in this, but you're thinking of 2 guys. It's Josh and Kingsley. That's it. And even when you look at the one-on-ones, like yesterday it was Charles Minihue, today Ashton Gelati. I'm sure you've seen the clip going around of him kind of getting tossed aside a bit. They're not even throwing the best rushers they got out of it for the moment. But then when you see it 11 on 11, he does struggle a little bit with Mike Dana, but it's really just now it's his. And as long as he stays healthy, they're even surprised by how healthy he is. As long as he stays healthy, that's left tackle. But you're right about right. Juwan Taylor coming back, he's still kind of the favorite in my opinion. They're just going to try out Jalen Moore to see what he can do because, I mean, they are paying him, and they have a lot of incentive laters in his contract. But I think that they're also paying Juwan Taylor. So you need to make sure what happens out of him. His knee was kind of up and down, but now his knee looks good. He looked great in the first day of pads, to be honest with you. And today he looked just as good. So, I mean, the incumbent's Juwan Taylor at right tackle, but left tackle, it's Josh Simmons' position.
Let's talk more about Josh Simmons here. How do you think that he's looked? A lot of the tweets and information that I've seen, people are raving about him. We were asking if he is the training camp darling, even though he's a first-round pick. It feels like a lot of the media attention and concern has kind of been about Simmons. You've been up there. How do you evaluate how he's performed so far?
Yeah, there's 2 media camp darlings right now. And I'd say it's Tyquan Thornton and Josh Simmons. And I think it's just because you see the sheer talent, you see the sheer power that he has. After he came after the patella injury and everything, it looks like he's the guy that you should have put as the first left tackle in the draft. And if so, this is another steal from Brett Veach, if that's the case. And again, we haven't seen live bullets yet. But from what we've seen right now, I alluded to the reps he had against Charles and Minihue yesterday, stonewalled him on a bull rush, and then the other one, Minihue gave him a little bit more energy, but he still did a pretty good job. And Mahomes is getting the ball a lot quicker, too. You notice he's not really winding up in those big, long throws that he's been doing a lot of during camp. He's really just setting his base and just letting fly with his arm a little more because, one, it's just because of the timing of it, but two, I think it's just beneficial for him and it's beneficial for the offensive line. But with that, Josh Simmons there and the way they work and everything, he's going to have more time to throw in the pocket, even if he's trying to get the ball out quicker or not, which is a huge dividend for the offense. And a lot of those deep throws have been going to Hollywood Brown. A lot of them going to Tyquan Thornton. A lot of them going to Xavier Worthy. So, it's one of those things where it's really looking like they've got their answer at left tackle, and if that's the answer, then they can move the offense forward. And then with everybody else, you remember Xavier Worthy's still young. He's still getting advanced, and Matt Nagy alluded to this today. He's still getting a little more and more advanced in offense. A lot of guys are getting more and more advanced, but Josh Simmons is just a guy. You look at the base, you look at the length that he has there. He's been doing good. You saw the clips against Ashton Gelati today. I mean, it is what it is. You see the power, and even Matt Nagy said today, you see the power, and they're just kind of amazed by how much power he does have. So right now, again, training camp darling, but, Chiefs fans could get their hopes up with something that could last at least longer than 2-3 weeks.
Let me ask you this question about Tyquan Thornton, and I do want to get back to right tackle. We're talking to Harold Kuntz. He does fantastic work for Fox 4. He's been every day at training camp. I wonder how much of the training camp buzz is going to be around Thornton. I mean, they brought back every wide receiver. They also drafted a wide receiver in Jalen Royals. Are we just talking about a fifth wide receiver, a sixth wide receiver, and a gunner on special teams? Yeah, that's a really cool July and first couple of weeks in August, but I'd be very surprised if we were talking about Tyquan Thornton in October.
Yeah, I think you're on point there with Tyquan. I mean, you just look at everything going on with the receiving group. You know about Hollywood. You know about Juju. And Juju's had a pretty solid camp, too. But you just know the emphasis of the offense is to get the ball deep. I mean, Tyquan's one of those guys who can do it, but he's going to come down to special teams. And Dave Tove, as you said, he's going to be a gunner, basically. He's going to be a guy that's going to be relied upon on special teams to be a gunner. They're trying to find a way to get him on the team. Now it comes down to the decision. Do you want the 4 running backs? Do you want 4 tight ends? Do you want 7 wide receivers just because of Bashir's potential looming suspension? So he's got to find a way onto the field. His prove-it moment is going to be special teams for sure. That's just where it's going to be, just with everybody they have right now on the docket there. It's a loaded receiving room. That's why you saw a guy like Justin Ross basically say, "I want out." He knew he didn't have a chance. Tyquan Thornton gives you a chance. He's great. He's definitely a high point in a couple of balls. He's worked the sidelines well, what they want. It seems like there's chemistry there with Patrick Mahomes, and the most important thing, he's working with the ones. He's not just working with the ones toward the back end. He's in the middle and more the front end of those reps when they go to teams. So he's a name to look out for sure, but he's still going to have to make his way through special teams.
Right now, we're talking to Harold Kuntz of Fox 4, just getting a training camp kind of recap from everything that happened over the weekend. There's been so much focus on Josh Simmons. I haven't really heard a whole lot about Rashee Rice. He's back. He's healthy. He's practicing. What have you seen from him so far?
Looks good. I mean, you see the short and intermediate routes. I mean, a lot of what you saw the first 4 weeks of the season is exactly what you're seeing here now. Now, he's not proven to be a deep route guy when it comes to the games. He's had a couple touchdowns, don't get me wrong, in the regular season games, but he's just not that consistent factor that I think they want Xavier Worthy to be in his second year. So you see the short and intermediate routes. He's been doing really well in the one-on-ones. I mean, you put top cornerbacks on him, you put a McDuffie on him, you put a Watson on him. He's still doing pretty good today. He's doing good in the short stuff, the intermediate stuff. I mean, he's really rounding out his game, and he's healthy. That's the biggest thing. He looks healthy. He looks quick. And it's just a matter of now, do they know how much do they have him during the season, when they have him during the season, what's going on there? Those questions are not going to be answered right now until we get an NFL communications release or something of that nature about it. But for right now, he's looked very good in camp. I mean, honestly, the receivers that look good in camp, it's almost made me think to myself, like, what's wrong with the quarterback sometimes? But I think these receivers, this might be the best group they've had since, when Tyreek Hill was over there, at least in terms of the way they're settled, the way people know things. And that's the biggest thing they have right now going for them is the knowledge that they have out there. These guys know the offense. They've worked with Mahomes. They've worked with him in Texas. They've worked with him in St. Joe. They've worked with him for what seems like a few years now. The reps are getting there more and more and more, and they have a little bit more of an identity now more than ever than really the last few years with what they want to do with the passing attack of the offense.
Let's switch to the side. You mentioned it a little bit, kind of talking about the cornerback situation. I know Christian Fulton hasn't practiced so far. Who's kind of stepped up in that role? Noah Williams was somebody that we spent a lot of time talking about when he was drafted. How does he look in camp? How do you kind of evaluate that cornerback room? Who's getting reps now with Fulton out?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are playing in different spots and a lot of reps at different areas. So right now we're just seeing things where we know the Chiefs offense, their opportunity to go deep, that's what they want to do. But right now the defense is looking like they're kind of putting some questions out there right now. And Christian Fulton's probably going to be sitting there like, well, when I get healthy, I've got a real shot at this thing right now. And that's no knock on the players that are out there right now defensively. I mean, we know McDuffie's going to be more of a slot guy more than anything. Watson's been on the outside. They've tried Najee Johnson. They've tried Josh Williams. They tried all these Fab Five guys from a few years ago in the draft. But right now the receivers are just – I know everything's usually geared more offensively in training camp, but even when you watch this, the linebackers, they like the guys like Leo Schnell had an interception today, the Nick Boltons of the world, the guys like that. I think they've had better coverage points than some of the quarterbacks right now because they've had to stretch out those hamstrings and they've had to go defend a lot of deep balls. And you're just seeing a lot of highlights of deep balls because, well, those guys back there, like I'm not trying to point out names, but I'll just say it. Shamari Connor and a couple others, they've just been sitting there getting a little lost. And I know they're trying out things, they're experimenting things out there. But if I'm Christian Fulton, I'm probably sitting there right now saying to myself, like, hey, I've got a real good shot here to be on the field because some of these other guys, and I don't know if it's just pressure or what, but right now. It looks like somebody like Christian Fulton, we need to see him out there to see what he can do. Just from a standpoint of, I know they're going up against the Chiefs offense that's trying to go deep, but we need to go out there and see what he can do.
You mentioned Tyquan Thornton on the offensive side. Has there been that player that's emerged on defense that's maybe surprised you a little bit?
Well, everybody's going to point to Omar Norman a lot. Obviously, he's been stuck in there with the ones. He's kind of been rotating in and out with Mike Cannell, but for the most part, I think the Chiefs see him as a guy that, probably week 5, 6, 7, he's going to be a strong rotational piece, if not the guy going forward. A guy like Mike Danda, he's been more motivated than ever. It seems like after he had a little regression last season, he looks like he's been more motivated. But honestly, right now, it's more the defensive line that what I've seen so far. You look at some of the rookies defensively. It is Omar Norman a lot. We've seen Ashton get in there a time or two. We haven't heard much from the rookie ambassador linebacker out of Oregon. So he's really Omar's the guy that you kind of look at as, I don't know if he's a training camp darling, if you will, but he's the one that you've seen, and he's getting a lot of PT out there. And, I'm curious to see where he goes from here. He's dealt with a little bit of an ankle. He's fighting off a tweaked ankle, but he's a guy to look out for. The few times he's been, 100% and going after it, he's been the guy that's been really getting out there. He's young, he's learning, but he's hungry. You can tell he's a little fresh because he's going to play a heck of a lot at UT or University of Tennessee. So he's a guy that he's one to look out for on the defensive side of the ball. Omar Norman a lot is one that, like, if you're looking for somebody who can significantly contribute in week 1, it's definitely him.
Right now, a couple more questions. Talking to Harold Kuntz, he does fantastic work with Fox 4. Just getting his thoughts on training camp as he's been up there. Let's go back to the right tackle situation for just a little bit. We mentioned at left tackle, it looks like that's Joshua Simmons' job to lose. They've been getting him all the reps. They're preparing for him to be their week 1 starter. Over at right tackle, who do you think kind of has the inside edge? And are you surprised that this is the decision? Like, if we're just looking at it purely as a business, whether it is Jawan Taylor, who is the second highest paid player on the team, or Jalen Moore, who just got $21 million guaranteed, it doesn't look like one of those guys is going to start, and it looks like one of those guys is going to be on the bench making a lot of money to not play and be that emergency swing tackle.
Yep, one guy's going to be a swing tackle. That's just really how it's going to work. But I think the Chiefs, from a business perspective, said enough's enough. We're spending whatever resource we have to make sure that our franchise quarterback is protected in Patrick Mahomes. That's, I think, what the Chiefs' thinking is. So if that means somebody that is getting paid nearly $20 million has to sit bench for a bit, that's going to be it. I think that's just where they're headed with it. And I also think from a business sense, that's why they're going to roll with Josh and Kingsley on the left side there. They're going to roll with it, and they're just going to see what happens, and hopefully it stands up. And they've got two great challenges at the beginning of the season in L.A. and Philadelphia, so they're going to learn really quick what they're about. But, yeah, that right tackle position, again, it's a competitive battle. They're back and forth. I mean, they're rotating Jalen. They're rotating Juwan. I still lean Juwan. As I said earlier, I think he's just the guy that I think has a little bit more experience in it, and he's plenty motivated. We saw that the first day he put on pads, all of a sudden, here comes Juwan Taylor off the PUP list. He's ready to go, and he's ready to get on those sleds and get on everything. So I think he's plenty motivated this year. I think he sees somebody trying to take his job. And that's the biggest motivator. I mean, we've seen coaches say it time and time again that sometimes the biggest motivator is the bench. And he doesn't want to be on that bench. He's like, hey, I'm a guy who's getting paid a lot of money here. I'm trying to prove my worth. I'm trying to be better at what I do. So he's going out there and he's trying to prove it. But, Jalen Moore's going to make it tough on him. I mean, they paid for competition, and they're getting competition. It may not be the competition that we thought originally, but they are paying for competition, and they're getting it. And I think this is going to make you would think and hope it makes Juwan Taylor better. He's got to prove it on the field, obviously. And, when you have the referees out there trying to simulate some semblance of real football, but Juwan Taylor's a guy that I think Jalen Moore is going to make him better. Or if not, Jalen Moore's just going to make himself better and get himself a job. But, yeah, that's the business right now is they've spent the money. You see Trey Smith. You see Creed Humphrey. You see what they're trying to invest. You see what they're trying to do on the left side. They said, we're sparing no expense. One of you guys got to take this job, and if that means somebody's making a good number of money on the bench, so be it. We got to protect the team.
That is our guy, Harold Kuntz, joining us on the show today. He's with Fox 4. He's at training camp. Harold, great stuff, man. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. That is Harold Kuntz joining us on the show today. Happy to get his thoughts on what is happening out at Chiefs training camp. Someone on the text line says, can't they move one of those tackles to left guard? I don't think that's the plan at all. I don't think that's the plan for the team right now. I think it's pretty clear what the plan is. I think the plan is Josh Simmons at left tackle. This was just confirmed by Jordan Schultz. Quote, I spoke with the Chiefs source today about rookie Josh Simmons. The team has been impressed with him all summer, and he is on track to start at left tackle week 1. I mean, I didn't need this report. No knock towards Jordan Schultz. I mean, based on how they've been moving and acting, this is the direction that they're going. This is not any different than what they did last offseason with Kingsley. It's not any different than what they did with Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. They've answered the question about who their left tackle is. Their left tackle is going to be Joshua Simmons, unless something changes. And the only thing that could change would be an injury in this context. So if he stays healthy, I fully expect him to be the left tackle week 1 starter in Brazil against the Chargers. The question now is right tackle. That's the question. And you have 2 expensive options. You gave Jalen Moore $21 million guaranteed. You gave Juwan Taylor. He's the second highest paid player on the team. I would say this. If we are going to put somebody on the bench, right, and it's not going to be the young guy who's not making any money yet, it's going to be one of the veterans. I don't know why you wouldn't then go with what your future offensive line is and give yourself basically a 2-year window. I mean, this is their offensive line if everything works out in 2026. It's Simmons at left tackle. It's Kingsley at left guard. It's Creed Humphrey at center, Trey Smith at right guard, and it's Jalen Moore at right tackle. I mean, right now, that's the odds-on favorite to be the offensive line at the beginning of the 2026 season. You got a chance to have that be the offensive line right now. So you got a 2-year window of growth and working together. Juwan Taylor is not a part of your future at this point. You save way too much money by getting him off the roster at the end of the season. So, I mean, I understand, hey, it's play the 5 best guys. We're still looking at this like a business. And if we're going to eat a sunk cost, if you're going to eat a sunk cost, I much rather eat the sunk cost with the player that we've decided that we're moving on from and then give the reps to the young guy and then see what happens. And if something goes wrong, then you can always change the course and change the plan. We've seen them do that at offensive line, but I don't really understand what the value of starting Jawan Taylor would be and sitting Jalen Moore. If you think that Jalen Moore is going to be your right tackle in 2026, then just start him now, give him that opportunity, let him be an every down starter in the National Football League, something he still hasn't proven that he can be, and then get that question answered heading into next season.
I get what you're saying, and I understand it. But if I know it's July and optimism is bound, everything at camp's going great, no mistakes, everything's right on schedule, is it possible, as Jordan Schultz reports, that the Chiefs have liked what they've seen from Josh Simmons? Is it possible they haven't liked what they've seen from Jalen Moore? Like, you never get those reports in July. But Jalen Moore got into the facility in March. He was the presumptive left tackle all the way until the draft. And even out of the draft, he was the presumptive left tackle because of Josh Simmons' health. They did 1 day of pads, and now he's the swing tackle. Is it possible him moving down to swing tackle is not an indictment on Taylor being better than him so much as Moore isn't what they thought they were getting, which is a little bit of buyer beware when the Chiefs get a free agent who is largely a backup tackle in the NFL. Is it possible Jalen Moore is just not what they thought they were getting, which is why they're going to stick with Jawan Taylor, eject on both, save some money, and restart the process at right tackle next offseason?
Yeah, I'm looking at this. So 2 questions. Do you think that Taylor would take a pay cut next season, or do you think another team throws a bag at him? I mean, he's shown that he's a starting caliber player. I don't really think that there's a pay cut to take if you're Jawan Taylor. I just want my outright release. I just want my outright release if I'm him. And if you're the Chiefs, I think you're happy to give it to him. So to look ahead just a little bit, Jawan Taylor's cap hit next season would be $27.3 million. They'd have a dead cap of $7 million. So you save $20 million by getting him off the roster. How much of a pay cut would that guy need to take to justify just release him? You've already made a determination who you're going to be. Go get yourself a cheaper backup right tackle and then move on from there. Someone then also texted in, why not trade a tackle for a draft pick? I don't think there's any world in which you can trade Jawan Taylor. I mean, not for what you think the value would be. Like, if you're willing to give Jawan Taylor away and eat some of the money, I mean, this is a big cap hit to take at this point in the season to take on Jawan Taylor. I mean, Jawan Taylor's base salary is $19.5 million. You guys can do the math. Divide that by 17 weeks. He makes $1 million a game. What team is taking on that level of salary unless something super drastic happens? So I just don't think you're getting anything for Jawan Taylor. I just think the Chiefs are just going to have to keep one on ice, and it's going to be a break in case of an emergency if something goes wrong. I don't think there's anything you can do. I don't really know why you would trade Jalen Moore. I mean, that was your big swing in free agency. You didn't really take a lot of swings in free agency. You took 2 swings. One we think could be the backup right tackle. The other one's on the PUP list and isn't starting at corner. Like, there isn't really much other new things that you went out and did to improve this team. So now you're just basically punting on the free agency move that you made less than 4 months later. So I think some of this is just, somebody got to be mad. And they've at least determined our first-round pick is not the one to get mad. And I'm looking at the text line. If you're making the argument that they did this last year with Kingsley, I guess they also did this with Creed Humphrey. This isn't any different than the Creed Humphrey plan. The Chiefs' percentage of shooting correctly when it comes to this topic is pretty good. This is not any different than how they did Trey Smith. Trey Smith just signed the largest interior offensive line contract in the history of the league. Creed Humphrey, some of you had thought that Creed Humphrey's the best center in the league for a while, maybe other than Jason Kelsey. He's been one of the 3 best for the last 4 seasons. So, yeah, they got it wrong on Kingsley, no question. They got it right on 2 other ones. So I'm not going into it, well, you were wrong on the last time. You got a lot right. So I'm at least open to the possibility of it. And I told you guys, I was wrong. I didn't think they were going to start Josh Simmons. Now, I didn't think he was going to be healthy enough, so that was going to make the situation easier. I didn't think they were prepared to. The Chiefs seemed prepared to either put their second highest paid player on the bench or their big free agent acquisition on the bench. That's incredible news. Not a lot of teams are willing to do that. Now, I get it, what you were fighting for and where you feel like your position, but, I mean, for a offseason in which the Chiefs kept it pretty in-house, this was a lot like 2020 and run it back. They took one big swing in free agency. He might not start. And their second highest paid player that they've moved and restructured his contract, like one of them is not playing in week 1 against the Chargers for a rookie, for a young guy that they got time to make that decision on. So it shows you how well Simmons has played. It shows you their belief. It also shows you that they're perfectly fine with having that guy as a break in case of emergency if something goes wrong. We can keep this conversation going. I also want to talk a little Royals baseball as well. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
Greatness is here. All 830 of our famous footwear stores now carry Jordan brand. So it's easy to score Jordan brand footwear and accessories, from hats to backpacks to socks, for the full family at a store near you. Famous Footwear's in-store fit experts will help you find the perfect style and the perfect fit. Because every day is a chance to make it famous. Come in and shop Jordan brand footwear and accessories at your local Famous Footwear store today.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for detailed terms and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Prostate cancer. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed in their lifetime, but early detection can save lives. That's where KCUC comes in. They're the premier center for urology and oncology, with over 50 elite providers and more than 20 locations across the metro. KCUC makes it easy to get screened fast in the comfort of an office, not a hospital. Schedule your screening today at kcuc.com. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. kcuc.com. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Go Yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. Join the millions who have already won billions making plays on Underdog and be next to join one of the leading places to make all your sports selections that you can play in your state. To play, all you have to do is download the app. Choose whether you think a player will go higher or lower than their favorite stats, home runs, strikeouts, total bases, and so much more. Once your entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1. And if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. That's right. If you bet $1, you could get up to 1,000 times your money. So you really could turn $1 into $1,000 with your baseball knowledge. Download the Underdog app. Sign up using that promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-770-0850. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance to buy $1 million of affordable term life for you. All you need to do is Just call Big Lou at 800-770-0850. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-770-0850. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-770-0850. 800-770-0850.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Tonight will be mostly clear with a low of 78.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with millions in guaranteed prizes. Details at circasports.com.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
A crash southbound 35 at Shawnee Mission Parkway has the right lane closed. Northbound 169 at Northwest Cookingham Drive is closed. Use an alternate route. Westbound I-70 is still locked up through the east side into downtown. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, this is Patrick Mahomes. Catch me every Tuesday with CDOT at 3:15, right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
All right, a couple of things on the text line that I want to get to, and then we'll talk a little Royals in this segment as well. Text line 913-586-7965. Let me find where this text was. CDOT, the real question with this team is one of the 3 tackles better than Kingsley at guard? This is where I think we're doing a little bit of Madden right here. I looked this up during the break. Jawan Taylor has played 6,481 snaps in the National Football League. He's never played guard before. Josh Simmons, you brought him in to be your left or right tackle. I don't think the solution is just, hey, I know you never played this position before on the complete other side if you're Jawan Taylor. You've been a right tackle. Now we're going to put you at left guard. I think we're doing a little Madden roster depth movement here. I don't think the plan is to put one of them at left guard. I think the other person is playing left out. I don't think that person is playing. To the point about trading for a pick, someone else sent in. A team that really wants him could give up a 6th or a 7th round pick and then extend him. That way they don't have to worry about landing him in free agency. I could end up being wrong about Jawan Taylor. I ended up being wrong about Josh Simmons, so I can live with that. I might end up being wrong, but this is what it would take for a team to trade for Jawan Taylor. The team that they are trying to catch in Kansas City, they will want to solve one of Kansas City's biggest problems. Kansas City doesn't have a lot of problems. Their biggest problem could be that their second highest paid player is not a starter. That honestly could be the Chiefs' biggest problem heading into week 1, that almost 10% of their salary cap is on the bench. Why would I help the Chiefs in their salary cap issue by getting his contract off the books? And why would I then give the Chiefs a draft pick to solve one of their financial issues and then give Jawan Taylor all of the leverage to make even more money? He's already making $19.5 million. Why would I then extend with you for a cheaper amount than what I was getting paid to play for Kansas City and I didn't get the chance to choose what team I wanted to play for. So Jawaan Taylor, for somehow, has already gotten all of the leverage in his career. You now want to give Jawaan Taylor more leverage and get the Chiefs out of a financial situation? I just don't see it being very feasible that a team is going to trade for Jawaan Taylor. He's the second highest paid player on the team. It's one thing to trade a 6th or a 7th round pick for a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, whose contract is about to expire, and he's making no money. DeAndre Hopkins was making $8 million. Jawaan Taylor is making $24 million. I'm not trading for that guy. Not for an okay right tackle. He might not be good enough to start for you guys. No, I don't see any team giving the Chiefs anything, unless the Chiefs are willing to eat a lot of money. Unless they're just like, hey, it's a sunk cost. Here, we'll split the difference to get him off the team. But in that case, you might as well keep him in case an injury happens. If there's any team that should be prepared for an injury to happen at tackle, shouldn't it be the Chiefs? If there's any team that should be prepared for maybe all of our offensive linemen won't be here at the end of the season, it will be the Chiefs. At this point, you just got to take your medicine and ride it out with Jawaan Taylor, ride it out with Jalen Moore, and then see what happens next year. I just don't see another team getting the Chiefs out of this.
The Drive. First to breaking news in Kansas City.
I hate to take away from the Chiefs conversation. We have some breaking Royals news from Annie Rogers over at MLB.com. Royals starting pitcher Kris Bubic is done for the year. He is no longer going to pitch the rest of the 2025 season as he continues to recover from a left rotator cuff strain that he experienced over the weekend. So Kris Bubic is done for 2025.
All right. Let me think about this. This is my initial reaction. I'm obviously not happy that Kris Bubic is hurt. Is this the worst thing that could happen, though? This is me thinking out loud. The Royals are done for this season. They're done. I know you're holding on hope that they're done. They're not making the playoffs. Is it the worst thing that a pitcher who took a big step forward and has proven himself this year as an all-star essentially gets from now until next February to rest up for when the Royals could potentially retool and regroup and be back at the beginning of the 2026 season as a team that has a legitimate chance to go win the American League Central? Like, I don't know if this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. He's having some shoulder issues. We're going to sit him and rest him for the rest of the year. I don't know if that was the plan to rest him, but now he doesn't put more innings, and you get to go from there. I don't know if this is the worst possible thing that could happen for the Royals. That's my initial reaction to hearing this news. This would be one thing if we're talking about he had Tommy John surgery, so he'll be out for next season. We're saying that he can't pitch anymore in 2025. Okay, that's fine.
So I have a little bit of the same reaction, a little bit different. The fact they're shutting him down on July 28th from a rotator cuff strain has me concerned it might be more than a strain. It has me concerned we might get getting news in a few days or weeks that, he got an MRI, and it turns out it's way worse than we think, because what they're reporting is it's a rotator cuff strain. That seems like a light injury to be shut down for 3 months. But I agree with you. If you are a person like me or you who thinks the season is not going to the playoffs, this is not the worst deal in the world. If you are a fan holding out hope for the wild card, this is the end of the line. This is the boat has taken on too much water. It's going to sink.
Yeah, I guess. But to me, though, if you were looking at it through that lens, I want to talk to people who are realistic about the Royals. We've seen 100 games for the Royals. They haven't been over 500 in a month. If we're still having wild card conversations, I don't know I can't reach you in this conversation. To me, this conversation is, do you think Kris Bubic can be ready for 2026? I mean, that's what signing Seth Lugo was for, right? Like, signing Seth Lugo was not about trying to make the playoffs this season. It was about positioning yourself in 2026. So over a span of 24 hours, you have made 2 2026 decisions in my mind. Let's shut Bubic down for the rest of the year, and let's lock up Seth Lugo for next year and give ourselves a bunch of options. You now give yourself potentially 4 or 5 months if you want to trade Kris Bubic. Because the worst thing that could have happened, if you're thinking about having Kris Bubic, the worst thing that could have happened is he could have got hurt in August. He's been out for a bunch of time, and then you can't do anything about him. You can't do anything if he gets hurt in August. You can't do anything if he gets hurt in September. He can now be hurt for the next 3 months. He then shows up, and now when you go to the winter meetings, you now give yourself an option of what you want to do. So that's what I'm saying. Someone just says, he's done for the year. Injury issues are never a good thing. I don't know if that's always the case. Like, if they had just announced they were shutting Bubic down for the rest of the year to preserve him, that's a move that I would applaud for the Royals for the remainder of the year. I think this is a blessing in disguise in a lot of ways. If we are talking about this being a 1 or 2 month injury and not a year injury where he's going to need surgery to repair something in his elbow.
I think I agree with you, but I will think this. As someone who understands this offseason, we talked about this at the onset of the show, in the offseason, that's the next window for the Royals to get better because it seems like they're kind of done as we near the deadline. Chris Bubic was a potential trade chip. Like, they have a surplus of starting pitching. Him being hurt, I think, does diminish his value.
I still think he is that, though. Like, someone just said, CDOT, wasn't he somebody we were considering trading for another bat? They still can trade him for another bat. They just can't trade him for a bat now. They can't trade him for a bat now. There's other times where trades happen. They didn't trade for Will Shields in the middle of the season, or James Shields, excuse me. They traded for him at the end of the year. I mean, there's another time that you can trade him. Someone on the text line says, CDOT, they're 4 games out on July 28th. Anything can happen. Sure. If that's what you are holding on to the Royals, I'm not here to tell you otherwise. I'm simply telling you that we have seen 106 Royals games this year, and they are hitting August 1st is later this week. I don't think the Royals are making the postseason. I mean, they can win 77 games this year, maybe better than that. They can win 80 games this year for sure. In order to make the postseason, you'd have to win probably, 85 games, 87 games? I just don't think this is an 87-win team based on our 4 months of evidence of watching them play. I don't think that's what they are. So right now, it's to me about how do you position yourself where on January 1, you feel really good about where you are as an organization, as a team, and you are best prepared to head into spring training as a team that can win the American League Central. So does that include trading Chris Bubic? Does that include trading Noah Cameron? Most things are on the table for me heading into next year. But Chris Bubic was going to do you no good if he continued to pitch through this and an injury happened in August and now you can't trade him in the offseason. To me, this allows him time to recover and keeps all of your options open about what you want to do, potentially heading into the winter meetings when action happens again. We can keep this conversation. Breaking news, Chris Bubic is done for the rest of the year. What does this mean for the Royals? What does this mean for their organization? Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey guys, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive. Summer is officially here, and that means the sun is out and the grill is hot and life is calling you. But what if you're just not feeling it? Low energy, brain fog, maybe you have no drive. It might not just be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Heartland Men's Health, they know what you're going through, and they know exactly how to help. Low T can lead to poor sleep, weight gain, low sex drive, and zero motivation, but it doesn't have to be that way. Do you know what the first step is? It's taking the free Low T quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com. It only takes 2 minutes. Then schedule your $99 consult. That includes lab work and a full medical review. And if your treatment starts that day, that means your visit is on the house. Don't wait. Heartland Men's Health is changing lives in Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Call this number, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com today. That one phone call can change your life, can change your summer. So get back to feeling like yourself. Pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health today.
Rita, hothead, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love.
Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy Chicken Biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all three if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in the combo while supplies last.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Robsite Ford. Non-commissioned staff. Low prices, best trade-ins, and the biggest selection. Visit robsite.com.
Shopping for a new Ford? Go where it's easy. Robsite Ford. Non-commissioned staff, huge trade-in values, and Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer. Robsite Ford. ROBSIGHT.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
My advice is to stay off I-70 between the east side and downtown. There's road work and now a crash at Highway 41. The 670-71 interchange is all tied up. Northbound 71 shuts down at Vine Street up to the interchange. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
I'm going to read a couple of you guys' texts. We're reacting to the news that Chris Bubich is out for the remainder of the season with an arm injury. CDOT, for a team that has struggled with pitching for decades, you seem awfully excited to trade them away. You also said the Royals were not going to re-sign Lugo. I think that caught a lot of people off guard. But I guess to the first part, I mean, I'm definitely not excited about trading them away. But I think you have to be realistic. The Royals have a problem offensively. Like, we can go through the numbers if you want, but the Royals have a problem offensively. There are only two avenues to solve the problem. One, trading one of the starting pitchers that they have to solve the problem. The other two is money. Now, if the Royals are planning on putting a package together financially to go attract a power-hitting outfielder, great. You will never, ever hear me complain about the Royals spending money. Never. But that is it. They have two options to solve the problem. It is take Noah Cameron or Chris Bubich or whomever and turn that into someone who can hit, or go out in free agency and overspend for someone who is an impact player. That's how they do it. So whichever one they do is fine with me. I don't care which one they do. Honestly, I don't care which one they do. But those are the only two options, or we'll be in this exact same situation. I mean, heading into next year, we've been talking about a 6-man rotation. Let's assume everybody is healthy to start off the year, right? Let's assume everybody is healthy. I mean, somebody's not starting in that scenario, right? It's kind of what they had. It's kind of why they got rid of Brady Singer. Who's the odd man out if everyone's healthy at the beginning of the year? So you've got Lugo, Reagans, Waka, Cameron, Bubich. Everybody's healthy heading into next year. How do you play that if you're the Royals? Or do you take one of those additional assets that you have and you potentially trade that to flip it to something that you desperately need? But, I mean, there's no question in my mind. The Royals cannot do offensively what they've done for basically the last year. The Royals' offense they have been this way since August 1st of last year. They've been one of the 5 worst offenses in the league. And all they've really done in the last year is add Jonathan India. That will not be enough next season. Now, you get Jack Caglione back, and he's healthy, and he's year 2. There's reason to believe that things can change next year, but this is solved by a player acquisition. And unless the Royals are willing to break the bank when it comes to going to get a power-hitting outfielder, they can find a Kendrys Morales or one of those kind of bats. It will probably come by them trading something that they really like to get something that they really need.
It's also worth noting, and it's July, so if you haven't done this, that's fine. The free agency outfield bats next year are not like, there isn't a Kendrys Morales, for that example, available. There isn't there's the power-hitting bat, boom, we'll go get him. The free agency crop, at least as of now next year in baseball, is pretty mediocre. So you're right. The Royals can give up on one of their surplus of pitching. They also might be able to give up on one of their prospects. I know they have, 3 or 4 catching prospects kicking around in the minors. They have a couple, up-and-coming arms. But even that, I would say that's a trade of something you like. It's a person you think could one day be helping the Major League club, but I don't know that free agency is going to be the best avenue. I mean, even if you put Caglione and, let's say, Grichuk stays in the lineup for next year, because basically a nothing contract, I don't know your offense is light years better. You need to be doing more, and that more is going to have to be via trade. It just feels like that's the best path.
No, yeah, for sure. And someone said, who is in that trade market, though? That is J.J. Piccolo's job. I'm not here to make it seem like I watch nearly enough baseball to answer that question for you to finish. If there's a football question, I can answer it for you. Who can the Royals get via trade in the winter? I don't know. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out when we get there. I have no answer to that question right now.
Not to answer the question.
I just don't know the answer right now. I'm not going to pretend like I do know.
Do you know what every team is probably in the market for? Starting pitching. There are 29 teams in baseball that if you called and said, hey, I got a Major League ready starting pitching arm, would you be interested? I can't imagine very many GMs hang up on you. So who's in that trade market? Everyone. Everyone likes pitching. No one hates it.
Yeah, and I guess there was a question about Chris Bubich of how this is a negative because he just shown that he hasn't been able to stay healthy. I think that's a legitimate question, a legitimate concern with Chris Bubich. I mean, if he's done for the season, he made 20 starts. He didn't make a start last year, and he started 3 games back in 2023. This is just kind of who Chris Bubich is. And I don't say that like he did something wrong. I don't think that. I just think the same way Hollywood Brown, for example. If you look at Hollywood Brown, the back of his football card, it kind of tells you the kind of player. I do think with Chris Bubich, he's not a guy that you can rely on for 30 starts. So I think you go into it kind of knowing that. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have tremendous value. I mean, he's a 27-year-old all-star is what he was this season. He was phenomenal this year when he was healthy. He was one of the best pitchers in the American League when he's healthy. So how do you manage that? What do you do? How do you move past that if you're the Royals? But I still think there's a bright future there. And just from the money and everything that you have tied up into Chris Bubich, I'm not super interested in moving on from him, but I don't think you can be afraid of doing that if you're the Royals, to your point, where you know this offseason what you need and you know what you need to do to get better. And now you got to try to figure out what the right combination of those players are to take that next step.
By the way, to further and make your point feel stronger, this tweet from Sam McDowell just came across. The Royals are anticipating that Chris Bubich will be out for the season. His injury will not require surgery, but just needs extended rest. He expects to have a normal offseason and be back next year. They're shutting him down. That's what they're doing. Everything you said the last 10 minutes is 100% true. They're just no surgery needed. He needs rest. Shut him down. He'll be normal in the offseason, and he'll be good to go by February for spring training. He'll be good to go by March for opening day, whether that's on the Royals or another team. The fact that there's no surgery required has me swing all the way to your side. This is smart baseball by the Royals. Protect him and do it for a year where you think you can win the division. No one's stopping you from getting hot. Let's say they get white hot and go a wild card. That's great. But next year, the goal is the division, not the wild card. So make sure you're set up for that moment.
Yeah, I think the Royals are taking the long play here. The worst thing that could happen, and now let's say that Chris Bubich could come back in a month, right? Let's say he could come back in a month. the end of August. Then you got to go through a rehab start. You got to get him back. It's like, when's the earliest you think he could be back? So if you think it's September 10th and you're being realistic about where you are, I think the Royals started making 2026 moves yesterday. They made that decision with Lugo that they want him a part of their future. And I think they just made that decision with Chris Bubic about for the rest of the year. Because the worst thing that could happen to Bubic is if he got injured down the stretch and now you close one of the potential doors that you could potentially walk down at the end of the season. Like, it's not 100% that he's on the team on January 1 of 2026. So let's at least preserve that, and then we can have those conversations internally. That's what I think the Royals made the decision to do today. We'll continue to talk about this coming up on the other side. The Royals are in town today. They have a home game coming up later today against the Atlanta Braves. We'll also talk about the Chiefs that I think have made a major roster decision. We'll talk about that next. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
My advice is to stay off I-70 between the east side and downtown. There's road work and now a crash at Highway 41. The 670-71 interchange is all tied up. Northbound 71 shuts down at Vine Street up to the interchange. I'm Bill Brooks, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be, and if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Heartland Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Brought to you by America's largest pickleball festival, PickleCon. PickleCon presents pickleball like you've never seen it. PickleCon takes over Kansas City August 7th through 10th. Tournaments, clinics, puppy yoga, glow-in-the-dark play, and more. Register now at picklecon.com.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy chicken biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all 3 if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in a combo while supplies last.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
BetMGM is making your next golf tournament winner bets more exciting with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Ever bet on your favorite golfer to win a tournament only to see them miss the green? Well, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your tournament winner bet finishes in second instead. That's right. Simply bet on any player to win a scheduled golf tournament during a promotional week. If you're right, you win. But if your pick finishes in second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Watch your favorite players go for the win all season long and bet knowing you'll get your stake back if they finish second. Log in today and make your picks with confidence with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client betrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch every show, plus video clips and shorts, all right from your phone, desktop, or tablet. The Fan's YouTube channel at 965 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
There's been a lot of news that has happened over the course of the last couple of days. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you guys on this wonderful, wonderful Monday. If you missed it, check out the podcast page. Rob and I gave our review of Happy Gilmore 2. I gave it 2 out of 5 popcorn bags. Rob, what's your official rating for Happy Gilmore 2? I'm going 2 out of 5. What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm not really a popcorn bag guy. I gave it a B-. So I guess in between a 3 and a 4. There are better movies, but you will not walk away angry after watching it.
So I would highly encourage you guys to check out our review of it. There's a lot of things that have happened between, I guess, Friday and today. Let's try to get to all of them coming up in this 30 minutes that we have in the show. Why don't we just start with number 1? I believe that the Chiefs have made their decision about who their left tackle is going to be. I believe that Josh Simmons is their left tackle. You have to go off the movement from the Kansas City Chiefs. Josh Simmons has taken every snap as the first team starter at left tackle, and when they put the pads on, when it really matters, he was their starting left tackle. I believe if there was a game tomorrow, I think Josh Simmons would start that game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we have to discuss the other side of it, but let's talk about left tackle. I was wrong. I didn't think the Chiefs were prepared to make this decision. I thought, due to the contracts that the other 2 gentlemen have, I thought that was ultimately going to win out. Now, the Chiefs have done something different, so we got to react. We got to adjust. And this is, I think, a really good spot for Kansas City. Josh Simmons, if he had been healthy and checked out, I think he goes in the top 10 to top 15. We all know about the patella injury and some of the questions that he had coming into his career, but he has been healthy enough to participate in all of the offseason workouts for the Chiefs, and now he is their starting left tackle in camp. If you are worried about, well, what about last year with Kingsley? I mean, they did this last year and it didn't work. I think that's a very fair point. I also think you have to note they did this exact same thing with Creed Humphrey. It worked. They did this exact same thing with Trey Smith. It also worked. So Brett Veach is not shooting 100% from the field, but out of the 3 rookie offensive linemen that were given the job and earned it from day one, 2 of those guys have gone on to be Pro Bowl caliber players. So I don't know if that's something that you should be ultra worried about heading into this. I think this is a tremendous accomplishment, to the work and rehab that you've put in if you're Josh Simmons, and let's see if you can play. Now, let's go over to the other side. The Chiefs are preparing to sit one of these 2 people. They are preparing to sit their big free agent acquisition or their second highest paid player on the team. Now, I'm not sure who's going to win the job. It's a competition. We'll see how things break down. We'll see who gets the reps in preseason. So we don't have that answer yet. But this is how I would break the tie if I'm the Chiefs. If they start Jalen Moore, they have the opportunity, if everybody is healthy, to start their offensive line for the next 2 seasons. Josh Simmons is locked in year 1 of a rookie contract. Kingsley Suamataia is 2 years into a rookie deal. So you have 3 years counting this year of club control left on Kingsley Suamataia. You have just paid Creed Humphrey. You just paid Trey Smith. If you put Jalen Moore over at right tackle, you have your offensive line in place for at least the next 34 regular season games and however many you play in the postseason. The opportunity to do that would end any tie. Now, you've put yourself in this situation with Jawaan Taylor, and an argument that a lot of you guys make was it is a sunk cost. The Chiefs agree with you, and they are willing to count it as a loss, so to speak. But if there is any organization, if there's any fan base that I'm talking to that knows the importance of having a left tackle on the side or having somebody that you think can plug in a pinch, I mean, wouldn't it be the Kansas City Chiefs? So let's see what happens. Does Josh Simmons make all 17 starts this year? Does Jalen Moore make all 17 starts? I mean, history would suggest probably not because they play football and that's the way that injuries happen in this game. So be prepared. So I've been saying this entire time that we were talking about 3 guys for 2 spots. That's not the case anymore. It's 2 guys for 1 spot because one of them has already been cemented. It's Josh Simmons over on the left side, and now we are determining, is it a guy that is essentially on a 1-year deal? That's what Jawaan Taylor is on. He is on a 1-year deal where Jalen Moore is on a 2-year contract. He is a younger player, and he is somebody that you see a part of your future and your desire to move forward. That wouldn't make it much of a debate to me. I would start Jalen Moore if I'm the Chiefs, but let's see how they play it. Let's see what they do.
I actually think as we get deeper and deeper into camp, I think we're going to find out it's not 2 for 1 at right tackle. I think it's going to be Jawaan Taylor is the right tackle. And I think we're going to have a conversation in about 8-ish months about if the Chiefs are going to eject on Jalen Moore because they have an option to escape, or if they're going to make him the right tackle of the future. But if Josh Simmons is your left tackle, and we're judging that based on the fact that he's taken every rep up at training camp. He's taken all the first team reps. When they were in shorts and T-shirts, when they were in pads, he's taken all the first team reps. Ever since coming off the PUP list, Jawaan Taylor has taken every rep with the first team right tackle. Now, maybe an injury happens. Maybe he stinks this year. I don't know. Maybe something happens. But I would say right now, we know what the week 1 offensive line is. I don't think Jalen Moore is going to usurp Jawaan Taylor. I think Jawaan Taylor is your right tackle going forward. Now, 2026 is a different conversation, but I don't think it's 2 for 1. I think we're locked in. We're done. We have the 5.
Someone on the text line says, CDOT, why are we not talking more about left guard? I don't really know what there is to talk about. They've already told us who the starting left guard is. It's Kingsley. This is where I think people are doing like Madden depth chart, where we're like now trying to find, no. Well, we know they're not moving Josh Simmons over there, so let's not even have that conversation. Jawaan Taylor has never played left guard in his entire career. And I just, no. Like, Kingsley, there's no scenario in which they're getting rid of Kingsley, not with the options that they have. Kingsley is starting for them. He's a second-round pick. They tried it at tackle. It didn't work at tackle. They tried it at guard. They like it at guard. That's their plan for this season. They're not moving those guys over. I get it. I get why people are asking the question, but we just got to be realistic. And I don't think that you are now moving. Like, Jawan Taylor, who is in the last year of a contract in which he's only played right tackle, I ain't moving over to play left guard. Not when I've never played over there before. I'm not doing it. So this is the offensive line that the Chiefs have. And I don't think this is a bad thing for the Chiefs. Again, this is not what I thought they were going to do, but that doesn't make it wrong. If you think that Josh Simmons is healthy and ready enough and gives you your best chance at left tackle, then play him at left tackle. And now you let the chips fall where they may over on the right side and you see what happens. I mean, I would play Jalen Moore on the right side of it. I think we all know with Jawan Taylor, and I would just move on from him and just have him there as the backup. But they obviously like him. They spent a lot of money on him. He is the more experienced player, but I think we just keep running into that thing. It's kind of like when you were like 16 and you're looking for a job, and then everybody tells you that you need more experience to get a job, but you're thinking, well, how do I get experience for a job if you won't hire me? Like, part of the argument with Jalen Moore is, well, he doesn't have the reps. Well, then a team has to give him the reps. In San Francisco, he's behind Trent Williams. Well, of course you're not getting the reps at left tackle. Well, now in Kansas City, you spent this money. That was your big free agent acquisition. You tell me the rookie got it. All right, cool. That makes sense. Now over on this other side, I make it a real competition between him and Jawan Taylor and see if he can beat him out. We'll obviously see what happens there. All right, Rob, let's move to Seth Lugo. I do not have any issue with this move. I want to be clear. I don't have any issue with them re-signing Seth Lugo. You will not find many examples of me being unhappy in the Royals spending money. We have wished our entire life for the Royals to spend money. So if you were telling me that the Royals were on the fence about what to do with the player, maybe they were receiving offers. I'm assuming they were. They didn't like those offers and think that it's in their best interest to keep Seth Lugo around on a pretty good contract. Great. But this is where I would counter. There are 3 ways that you can drastically improve your roster for 2026. One of them is not realistic. This isn't football. In football, you need a wide receiver. You draft a wide receiver. That guy can help you the next season. We see that countless number of times. You need a running back. You draft a running back. Problem solved. It's not how baseball works. So let's eliminate that as an option. They're not drafting somebody that helps them offensively for next year. Again, that's not how baseball works. It was then number 2B is then trading Seth Lugo to get yourself a bat. They have made the decision that they're not going to do that. That's fine. Well, then option 3 needs to be you need to spend the money in free agency to find his replacement or find an offensive player. What I will not let them do, what you should not let them do, what we should not let them do is talk about how this guy's going to be better for next year and how they're just going to have a lot of internal improvement, and that's going to solve their offensive problem. Not when you've been like this for a year. If we go back and look at the Royals' offense from August 1st of last year till August 1st now, I'm assuming the Royals are bottom 5 in almost every offensive category that counts. Runs, walks, home runs, all the things that matter. I'm not letting you sell me on Vinny Pasquantino being better in 2026, and then that's the improvement. I'm not letting you sell me that there's another gear for Miguel Garcia. I'm not letting you sell me if that's all you were selling me. Now, if you're selling me, hey, we went out, we got these 2 bats, and then with these other guys that we got, all right, that's something you can sell me. But this team has to either make a trade, so whether it's a Bubic, whether it's a Reagans, whether it's someone like that to go get a bat, or the Royals spend 3 years, $48 million, and then they go get a right fielder that can play every day and hit 20-plus home runs and give 100 RBIs. That's what they really, really need for this team. So I think we all know what they need. The question now is, how do you acquire those things? If you're not trading Seth Lugo to go get it, who are you potentially willing to trade to go get that? Or are you just willing to spend the money in free agency to go find said player?
I think, without saying it, today and yesterday, the moves the Royals have made have signaled they have an eye toward 2026. Because Seth Lugo was something I will talk about at the top of the hour. Hey, you were wrong about left tackle. I was way wrong about how the Royals are handling Seth Lugo. I thought they would dangle Seth Lugo to the highest bidder and try to get a wave of prospects. I thought the idea of getting him re-signed was a fool's errand. I was way wrong about Seth Lugo. The Royals locked him up, by the way, for a lucrative contract. Congratulations to Seth Lugo. Congratulations to Jay Piccolo, John Sherman, everyone. I was wrong. But they're doing that because now they have, 3 known commodities locked in? Maybe 4 if you believe Noah Cameron can continue to do this next season for 2026. They then shut Chris Bubich down today. We got the breaking news sounder earlier. He doesn't need surgery. He needs rest. He's out for the rest of the year, expects a regular offseason. Those are 2 moves to me that signal, hey, we're ready to compete for a division title in 2026. This year has been a disappointment, but trust us, 2026 is going to be better. The third way to do that is to either this offseason or maybe at the deadline, maybe you trade a bunch of prospects tomorrow or Wednesday and you get a bat. But that is step 3. Step 1 is locking up the pitching. Bubich health, we think is going to be better next year, and Seth Lugo is going to be on the roster next year. Step 2 is getting better bats, and it's going to be either free agency or trade this offseason to get it done. But the Royals are operating and acting like we feel like we are going to be a contender, not just for the 3rd wild card spot, but for the division in 2026. Seth Lugo and Chris Bubich moves signal that to me.
Can I go back and read text really quickly? It was about what we were talking about just a minute ago, talking about the offensive line situation. And just I think now we're just trying to move everybody around, and I just don't know how realistic that is. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, look at a guy like Mekhi Becton. He had never played guard before last year. Jalen Moore is capable. You're right. I do think it is important to note. I just think Mekhi Becton he's a better player than Jalen Moore. Mekhi, if you're going off like where they were drafted, Mekhi Becton was the 11th overall pick in his draft class. Jalen Moore was the 155th player in his draft class, and to this point has just never really been a starter in the National Football League. So I'm not telling you that Jalen Moore can or cannot do it. I don't know. We don't really have a whole lot of instances of what he can and can't do at this point. But I think just based on how they are using certain individuals and where they are playing them on the field, I don't think that they're considering playing one of these guys at left guard. I think they're playing Kingsley at left guard. I think that's their plan for this upcoming season, is to play Kingsley at left guard. Now, if something goes wrong, then we'll see what happens. I mean, they had that plan at left tackle. It didn't work, but they've now told you, hey, we think he's a little better suited here. We're going to put some help around him, and that's their plan at left guard. So I definitely hear, hey, they got these 3 guys. Why don't we plug them somewhere? And now we've decided that Kingsley's the guy that's voted off the island. I don't think the Chiefs feel that way. I don't think they're voting him off the island. I think he's going to start at left guard for the Chiefs, and they'll see how it works this season.
It's like the 3rd day, 4th day of pads up at camp, so a little bit of grain of salt here. Every padded rep with the ones the Chiefs have had is Kingsley at left guard. That has been their plan. I think that is their plan for the preseason. That's their plan for week 1 of the regular season. Their plan is Kingsley at left guard. I have a hunch the Chiefs, whether it be Andy Reid, Andy Heck, Matt Nagy, Brett Veach, pick a person over at Arrowhead, has thought to themselves, I wonder if Jalen Moore would be a good left guard. They have not done anything to indicate they are interested in that idea. Now, maybe in a week and a half after the first preseason game, I don't know the timeline, they think, we're really in trouble here at left guard. Let's maybe tinker with that. But it's odd to me that you would say all offseason, Kingsley's the guy. The first time you go through a padded practice, Kingsley's the guy. And then out of nowhere, they just go, Jalen Moore time. Their plan at left guard is Kingsley. You don't have to like it, but that's their plan. I think Jalen Moore is a swing tackle. Jalen Moore is what Wanya Morris was last year. That's what Jalen is. He's better than Wanya Morris, but that's the Chiefs signed. A 2-year, $20 million swing tackle at the open of free agency.
Let me ask you this, and I do want this to be a part of the hits because I want your opinion. Now, I'm saying this with the preface. I understand how people are going to hear this because I cheer for Missouri. And I'm saying there's some things I'm willing to kind of joke about when we go back and forth. Like Bill Self's health is just not one of those things that I'm here joking about. Like, let's have a real conversation about Bill Self. He has had 2 heart issues in 2 seasons. He was unable to finish a season because of a heart issue, and he just had a serious heart issue a couple of days ago, and he's kind of resting up for this upcoming season. I'm not talking about this upcoming season. They have the potential number 1 overall pick. Last year was disappointing by Kansas basketball standards. I understand that Bill is eager to get back out there. But I do wonder if KU fans have kind of started to open their mind to, man, what if this thing just ends one day? Like the same way that it ended for Roy Williams, the same way that it ended for Coach K. What if the same way it ended for Jay Wright? Like, are KU fans prepared for maybe this time next year, Bill Self's just like, hey, you know what? I've been to the Final Four a handful of times. I've won 2 national championships. I'm already in the Basketball Hall of Fame. I've made the decision that I don't want to coach in the NBA. I want to enjoy the rest of my life and spend time with my wife and kids and my grandkids now. I'm not saying the end is close for Self. I don't know. Nobody knows. But when your head coach has had 2 serious heart issues in a short period of time, it's not crazy to think that coach doesn't have a whole lot more time left to be your head coach. Maybe that's a year. Maybe that's 2 years. I don't know. I don't know if Self's coaching another 10 at Kansas. Maybe he does this for 3 more years. What's the plan at KU if Self wakes up one day and just says, hey, I'm good? It would appear that plan is Jock Vaughn. I mean, he knows that program as well as anybody. His name's up there in the rafters. He's one of the best point guards they've ever had. You could definitely get all the boosters to support Jock Vaughn taking over. He's also coached in 2 different NBA spots. Jock Vaughn's not a bad answer if that's what KU wants to do moving forward with their head coach. Rob, I'm just curious. I'm bringing this up in the hits. I know we don't have a whole lot of time left. Have you, as a KU fan, as a season ticket holder, as an alum, have you started to have those thoughts and conversations about Bill Self that, not that we are at the end today, but it certainly feels like we are getting close to the end with Bill Self?
Yes. And I think any KU fan, or if Travis Goff is in the show, anyone in the administration who hasn't had those conversations is naive. Like, you're right. We don't need to talk about his health issue. I mean, all reports are the procedure went well. He should expect to be back this season. He is going to rest, full recovery, all those things. So the health is first and foremost important, but it's not like he's 27. It's not like he's 35 or 45 as a coach of Kansas. He's getting older, and now he has health issues. So, yes, I do as a Kansas fan think, all right, what's next? I don't know that Jock Vaughn's a coach in waiting, but I agree with you. Jock Vaughn's probably the leader in the clubhouse. Jock Vaughn's probably the early favorite. If FanDuel said, hey, KU's next coach, I bet Jock Vaughn's like minus 165, but I don't think they're going to hand him the job. And I also think where Bill Self is a little different than Roy or Jay Wright is I don't think Bill wants to leave with the sour taste of what went wrong last season. I know we joke about, it was a bad season for Kansas, but still a fine basketball season. That's not how Bill Self gets down at Kansas. It's not just be a 7 seed, a first-round loss, and, you had a nice little run. That's not his goal ever at Kansas. So I think if he and Darren Peterson go to the highest of highs next season, he could walk away. But I think if Kansas is still down by Kansas standards, he will continue to want to try to be the person that gets it fixed and be the coach there as long as his health allows. But Jock Vaughn I think there's a difference, and maybe it's semantics, the leader in the clubhouse, but not the coach in waiting. They will have a national search.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking about Ben McCollum, who was at Northwest, went to Drake, and now the head coach at Iowa. I mean, I think in theory that would make a lot of sense, but I do think it's important to note, for the most part, when it comes to these basketball hires, they've kept them all in-house, right? Whenever Duke was open, Duke could have got, in theory, any coach that they wanted, right? It's Duke. It's the best job that's out there. Duke hired John Shire, which is like hiring Jock Vaughn. When North Carolina's job was available, again, it's North Carolina basketball. You can go get whomever you want. They hired an alum. They hired an assistant coach. They hired Hubert Davis. Whenever Syracuse's job came open, when Villanova's job came open. So I definitely understand the sentiment. Well, go get Ben McCollum. That's just not what programs are doing. That's not what's happening in college basketball right now. Not when you lose a coach like Bill Self, especially when Bill Self has, I'm imagining, some opinion on who he thinks you should hire. And his number one assistant, who is an alum, who was a great player, who can definitely coach at this level, who the boosters will get really excited about, seems like a really good option, like a really good plan of succession if something happens to Bill Self and he decides to move on as the head coach of the University of Kansas. We had a lot of fun today. We'll be back tomorrow. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve.